What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to the men's room. I'm your host, the Appalachian American, and we're having some technical difficulties because that was a weak start. Did you guys hear that?
It happens.
Man, dude, I don't know, my computer's doing something funky or what. Oof.
It's the room you're in. It's haunted. You're no longer in the toy room where you should be. This is not the room you're supposed to be in. Because when you're in this room, weird things like this happen. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby.
Sorry, Mom.
Mom, but I had to.
Yeah.
You weren't expecting, were you?
Joining us tonight is Tommy Good.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my piece of heaven.
Yeah, your green screen where your shoulder's glitching out. Finally, he freaking shows up, late as usual.
Oh, we're live already.
No duh, man. 8:40 was 8:40.
All right. Hey, I got something to show you.
All right, what?
Ooh.
Actually, we're still in introduction, so hold your horses. Superfan Adam Shawhan, the Blues Brother himself.
Bada bing, bada boom, baby. We're here to have fun.
How much for the children?
How much for the little girl?
Sell me your daughter.
Seth, how much for your wife?
Sell me your daughter.
Sell me your family.
I want your children. Anyway, that's from the Blues Brothers, in case you're uncultured.
Oh,
I don't know if Tommy's ever seen that movie.
I have.
What? Okay, and anyway, finally, the late, but whatever, Channel Dad. No, Tommy, get on camera.
Oh, I
No.
am.
Camera now.
I just thought that's where.
You're gonna stay on camera.
Hello. Is everybody looking?
Yeah, what's up, man? What you got to show us?
Nice.
Butler County. What is that?
Here, I'll I don't want to dox myself. But can you read up what it says underneath there?
Hold on, let me maximize you up there. Concealed carry.
Oh, there you go.
Nice. Did you finally buy you something?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever.
I'm hot on the market. I mean, I know Adam likes the Tauruses and all that. I like them too, but I still like the Hellcat better. So I'm still trying to find one.
What exactly is the Hellcat? I don't really remember.
Springfield Armory.
Yeah, the subcompact.
Springfield
Armory Hellcat. There, you just type that in.
I think that's the point.
Help if I spelled right.
I think I may have found one about half-hour drive from here.
Nice.
Well, it's just north of the big retail stores. They either have the model I don't want, or they don't have them at all. And
What are the model options?
I want the one with the OSP mount.
What's an OSP mount?
That's the optical sight.
Ah,
Nice. I like this backyard.
that's cool. It comes with it.
Well, it comes with a mount point, so there's a plate you take off, and then you put the sight is another probably $70, I think. But I want to learn to shoot it, and I really like the beige one or tan or whatever color that is. I don't know why I like it better than the black, but
That one.
yeah, see, it has the
Get
plate.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see what you're talking about.
That costs a little bit more to get that,
Oh.
but I want to learn to shoot it with the sights it comes with first, and then I'll worry about the optical sight.
You want the sand color one?
Yeah, I like that one better. I don't know why.
I mean, it looks cool.
There's something more military about it, I think.
Yeah.
But I am seriously looking at some of those smaller Tauruses for the pocket carry.
D2C.
Yeah, the 380, the Smith & Wesson 380. I didn't like its trigger, which is the trigger kind of goes boink. It's,
get the or look at. Have you seen the Taurus? It's the PT 111 but it's the G2C or G2, and the C is the colored. So I mean, it's whatever.
Is that a pocket carry or is that a what?
Yeah, they're pretty small.
Yeah, it's just your standard sub. Not bad at all.
So this one is a lot of people, even people who hate Springfield Armory, like this model. If you guys probably hear my daughter, but
Of course, they're always things.
Well, that's what happens when you tie them up in the closet later.
yeah. But it's a good everyday carry. And then at some point, I think I want to get a pocket carry. If by then we're not all been put in jail because we can't spell gun.
Yeah, I've got the PT-111. I've got the Gen 1. That's what I had on me when we first met. Like,
is that the G? The G1?
The Millennial, yeah, the very first one, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
My wife's got the G2, G2C.
Mm-hmm.
She got the purple one.
Well, yeah, that's why we did that, was so that your wife can accessorize. That's all of them that have done that. Purple, pink, gold.
Now, did you have that in a hip holster, or did you have it?
Yeah,
like ankle strap.
Back.
The back.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the next thing. The next thing I need to
No.
understand is where I want to. To me, it's it's not like I got to carry this thing tomorrow. It's a learning process.
Right.
But at least now with the way all the Ohio laws are, if you don't have a conceal and carry, you have to have. It's a 2-step rule. So you can, like, even if you're like going to the range, you can put the thing in your trunk and then your ammo in the glove box. But with
inside the waistband holster.
oh, nice. So which one is that?
The G2C.
That's the Taurus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold it up again.
I'm trying to make sure it's empty.
Yeah, I understand.
No, you have to shoot the computer, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's very interesting. And it still has a high slide guard.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
good. Should be, I think, 12 in the mag and 1 in the pipe. So 13 shots.
Yeah. Because that's the thing that I know. I have a friend of my son's who actually works part-time in a gun shop. He cleans, he works in the back, does something. He does a lot of his own self-modification. He really likes the Glocks, but he's been shooting since he was like 4, and there's not much of a guard on a lot of those Glocks. There's not much of a guard on the back.
Tommy, I'm glad. I'm sorry, Liv. I had to take. Tommy, I'm glad you're not balding. As much of the top of your head that we keep seeing.
I like.
I'm sorry,
I
Liv.
really,
I had to.
I really enjoy the Glock, but I just don't have the. I don't have the wallet for a Glock.
Yeah. I will say this. I forget. I think it was a G17 one time he brought by. Because one of the things that I noticed with the Glocks is the slides are really heavy compared to the rest of the body, and it's like it wants to rotate in your hand. But he had the mounted flashlight in the front, and that completely changed the balance. I mean, it actually made it balanced. It was very bizarre. And I'm like, really? And he takes it off, and sure enough, it just wants to rotate right out of your hand. I'm like, and that's with it loaded. I thought, man, that is so weird. Well, I should say a full magazine. He didn't have one in the.
Right.
But yeah, there's one of the classes that I think we need to take is teaches you how to tear down everything. And when she got that Smith & Wesson EZ, and we still haven't even oiled it and haven't even shot it yet. We buy range time and it's going to expire in the end of the month. I'm like, come on, we need to get there.
Hey, at least you can still use yours. The place I went to went out of fucking business, so I have a stamp card with 2 shots still, 2 chimes going in to do it, and they're no longer there. So I'm like, oh.
The one thing I like about the Taurus, I mean, it's small. It's a small thing.
What did you say? It was a Taurus? What Taurus?
It's
what?
the G2C.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up while you're talking. Go ahead.
It's one thing. Like if I was to keep one in the pipe. It's got, I don't know if you can, it's got like a little thing that pops up when it's ready to rock.
Yep.
And it's got the red on the side. It's just a little safety feature that, like, if you first glance kind of thing, you know if it's loaded and ready to go.
Oh no, that's a 1911 Taurus one that I've got. Yeah, you have to pull the slide back. Now it's a big, heavy gun too. That's
Yeah,
one. If I was a
full
detective, if I was a detective or something, I had a shoulder holster. That's what I would be carrying because you pull that on a perp, it's like you
That's a
have
big one,
their
folks, man.
attention.
Full frame, there's no joke. When it's a full frame pistol, it's got some weight to it. You ain't messing around. Dirty Harry, the movies were funny, but those guns were heavy as fuck.
Yeah, and my understanding is there are several versions of that. I don't know if it's Taurus, but there's versions of that gun that's a 45 instead of a 9mm. Similar size, weight. Yeah, when I shot that for my CCW class, we had to spend 2 hours on the range. I'd never shot a pistol before. Now I qualified with that gun, but my goodness, after about an hour, I was just like, and the guy's like, because I think I had nearly qualified. I think there was one more target I had to do or something, like 7 yards or 9 yards. I don't remember now, but he's like, let's take a break. And that's when the X carry that Sig Sauer no longer makes. It's an X compact, which is a little too small, but so that's what I shot next. And that gun was so light in comparison. My first 6 shots were, I don't know if I had a half-inch spread. It was ridiculous.
He's got a pinky extender.
Oh, nice. Is that for a 13? Or is
no,
that for
it's 12, but it's no.
Okay.
It's just the extra.
Yeah. For those of us with actual half hands, our pinkies that don't go all the way down, even though you're trying. It's like, come on.
I mean, it's a great. I mean, a good hand-sized gun. It's not too big. It's not bulky.
Yeah, that's about the size of the Hellcat. I think the Hellcat might be. It's maybe a little bit bigger.
But I really like the width of the grip.
Now, is that a double stack?
Yeah. It's something to hold on to.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed when those smaller guns, when you get the double stack, it really makes a difference.
But
I mean, not just from capacity standpoint, but just for having some kind of girth there to hold on to.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the length, that full size. It's a bit longer in the hands.
Right. Yeah, it's a good time. I mean, I really like shooting it. My poor wife, she got it for Christmas last year, and
you're in a different room tonight. I just noticed that.
Yeah, I'm down in my dining room because my office is in pieces.
Okay, sorry for interrupting there.
That's all right. But my wife got it for Christmas. She went to shoot it and she didn't hold her hands right, and she was like holding it, The slide came back and cut her thumb right open. Oof. Awful.
And that's got a big slide guard. So.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's been a really good gun. I mean, there's only been probably a whole magazine run through it. Like, that's it. So it needs to be. Wow. I need to clean it and oil it. I haven't messed with it. It's been in her purse. And there's actually, I think, a raisin caked on the back of it, or there was.
Wow, that's a $300 gun, huh?
Is it? They've gone up.
I said the side I was just on was like $229.
Taurus G2C matte black 9mm 272.
Wow, they've gone up.
Oh, that's just if you're lucky enough to find them, though, too, with all the shortages we're having.
Probably.
Night sights, 331 with night sights. So, yeah, it looks like go from 270 to 330 depending on what sights or the capacity.
And then don't forget you have to add the COVID pricing of another 150.
Probably.
For what?
COVID pricing because of COVID.
That's just the price of it. Well, here's Academy Sports and Outdoors. That was directly from the manufacturer, but it's $250 from some other website. So,
I wonder what the difference between the G2 and the G3 are.
They're pretty small differences, but they still both look good.
Now, has that got a safety trigger on it?
Yeah.
See, the G1 didn't.
Yeah, the Hellcat's got that. The Hellcat, if you can find, I have seen it. The one I want with the that mount, I've seen it from $601 to $680, and almost everybody's sold out.
Mhm.
I've actually seen them on auction sites for over 700.
Oh, big time.
I mean, brand new. You know,
Oh, yeah.
that's somebody buying it and just putting it on out for auction, making a couple $100 off of it. It's a very. I've run into a few people who've had one, or know people have one, and like I said, there are people who think Smithsville Armory, you know, they hate every other gun they make except the Hellcat. So anyway, I've completely derailed the show for 15 minutes, but anyway, yeah. Last Friday is when we went to, because in Ohio you can go to any county, so Butler County is the next county over. But you have to make an appointment. My wife and I went, and we got them Wednesday actually. So I probably we kicked back in the background check is there's just two morons who don't do anything. So
Dang,
there
it's
you go.
just
I don't know.
it's just a hair. All right, let's see. Let me bring this up so you guys can see. All right, the differences between the length and the width, the height and the width. The length in the G2 is 6.25 inches, and the G3 is 6.3 inches. Height is 5 inches. Height 5.1 inches. Width is 1.25, and width is 1.2. So it's a little bit bigger, but just a touch narrower, and almost an ounce heavier. The barrel is 0.5 shorter. Ooh, the G2 comes in a 40. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I still want 9 because I mean I've got a 40. I don't need any more 40.
Or do you? Dun-dun-dun.
40's hard. Like I can't find no ammo for it.
Most ammos are that way these days, my brother.
Even before then, like it's like
Yeah.
they don't. It's like they don't want to make 40 anymore.
Is that 40? Is that a caliber size? What
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Usually you get 9, 40, and 45.
Okay.
But here recently, it's been like no 40 whatsoever.
Yeah,
Connor,
well,
what are you doing?
even around here, 22 is really hard to get.
What are you doing?
Oh, just working on a computer.
He's over there having orgasms because we're talking about things that go boom.
Yeah.
All right, so talking about things that go boom. So might as well this just be a gun episode. I was talking to my uncle the other day, and he told me of a gun called the Gamo. Gamo.
Okay.
I've never heard of this, but it's it is an air rifle, like a pellet gun.
Yeah.
For like adults.
Okay.
These cats you either get a .17 caliber or a 22 caliber. BB. Like you talking about putting some hurt. There's video of them like dropping a pig. Like they went hog. They went hog.
Hog hunting?
Yeah, hog hunting, and they like you can see them drop a pit like the hog
Oh, wow.
with a friggin' air rifle.
Mm-hmm. Well, that Black Ops one that I've got, that's a sniper rifle one. You know, it's the single, but the pressure, it'll damn near shoot all the way through one of those big 55-gallon metal cans.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, we're talking pellet gun. It's just a straight up pellet gun, and it's like holy shit. And I
Dude,
mean,
it's crazy.
Yep.
And the best part about it is there's no registering.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
and it'll
you
take
literally
down.
can shoot your eye out with that thing, kid.
Oh God, you kill yourself.
Mm-hmm.
No, but this is a it's a like you don't have to register it. Ammo's cheap. 22 pellets. That thing's awesome. And you can go after any kind of small game. Anything that you can go get with a 22, you can get with this. And speaking of, I forgot and left my dog outside.
Probably a good idea to go get the dog.
Yeah, let me go get her
Go
where
get
she
the dog.
freezes.
Yes. Hell yeah. I still got my pellet guns. I still will shoot shit with them. Although I do prefer to shoot things with my Mosin Nagant more, but that's just me.
Did any of y'all watch WandaVision?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Don't no spoilers. We might do a watch party after.
Yeah. I saw. Yeah, I saw it like early this morning when it first launched, and then I watched it again with Jez and the boys from Digital Pollution going live with you guys. We were watching that, some other stuff, just laughing, drinking, and having a good time like we are right now. Gotta have the laughs, gotta have the drink.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But dude, that'd be a dope gun to have.
Well, I've got real guns, and I got pellet guns and BB guns.
Yeah. But I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Do you know how fun it is to shoot shit with a BB gun? Boy, those wasps get pissed when you fucking nail them.
Come on, skip.
Air rifle made by Gammo. And I recently did a video where, I compared how pellets shot, the different kind of pellet loads, just like you would on a Superfan rifle.
Man, I mean, these are like wild hogs.
That's a little one there.
Sound like he already got the hogs.
Put me down there by me dinner.
Alrighty, here we go.
You gonna get it. I mean, just one shot with a pellet gun.
Alright, here we go. Got him.
Done.
Got him.
Now you got bacon, and you killed it with a pellet gun. Hell yeah.
The other one's like, I'm too hungry to worry about him. Bam, done.
Look at that. Look at that. How cool.
He's like, look at that. Would you look at that?
That other one's pretty small.
Yeah.
The way they're kicking like that. I mean, if with a higher velocity round, that would have probably eliminated any of that kicking. But
How long do they take to die? I mean, they're wreathing around there for.
Here we are. We've got two nice eating-sized hogs, and this is a Whisper G2. This is second generation air rifle made by the folks at Gammo. It's a package gun. It has the smooth action trigger, and it comes standard with a little Gammo scope on it, and it's packed right here. I mean, I did a test to find out which pellet it liked, and I know that the pellet that I'm shooting, the rocket, and it's from Gammo. I mean, this thing so tightly that it's very easy to place a well-placed shot in the brain of a hog. Now, we've got a little boar hog right here, and he probably 20 pounds. He's maybe 25 pounds. This right here, on the other hand, is a little sow. She's probably 10 to 12 pounds. Perfect for the barbecue pit. And Texas is overrun with hogs. This is Hog Wild Adventures, just north of Houston, Texas. Occasionally,
that's wild, dude. I'd like to get down there and pop me some hogs.
Houston Intercontinental Airport is about 45 minutes that way. But anyway,
air gun
it's covered up with hogs. It's a perfect place for me to come and field test for the first time the second generation Whisper G2 air rifle made by Gammo. And I'm very, very
shooting past 25 yards. Oh, yeah.
Going to do this.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
Close distances. I was shooting at 22 yards to this spot right here,
Let's see.
and I sighted in the rifle at 25 yards, so I know exactly where it's shooting. I limited myself to about this distance right here, although I saw more hogs.
They
further
died,
away.
according to
There's
this,
no way that I would attempt to
the
shot
twitching
like
was
that simply because
cardiovascular
it's
spasms.
too far away, especially when you're using an air rifle. Now, this is the 22 caliber. This particular, the Gamo's Whisper G2 comes in 177 or 22. I like 22 because it has a little bit more oomph, but the 177 is great for animals up to say the size of jackrabbit. So anyway, this is a pretty cool deal.
Huh.
Look where that hit him. Perfect.
That's wild.
Well, I mean, the one good thing about that is the sound don't scare them away.
True. The sound doesn't, and that they're cheap and easy to buy.
Yeah. But a hog skull is thick.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it really is. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's new this week, fellas?
Not a lot.
Yeah?
Mr. Lape, what's new? Oh, he's muted. That's why I was like, damn, man. They're not.
Well, he just doesn't want everybody
No,
to
I
hear
know the
all that
background noise. I got it.
y'all screaming and hollering.
Well, if he would feed her and quit locking her in the damn closet, you cannot tell have a daughter and then say, I'm locking you in the closet till you're 30. It doesn't work, man. Eventually they scream.
All right.
Hey, buddy.
No. Well, it's what's his name? Christopher. What's his name died today? He was the father on the Sound of Music. He played the father, the actor. Or do you guys even pay attention to that stuff anymore?
Who?
Dog. No.
I thought his name was Christopher something.
The electrical
Christopher
tape with
Plummer.
the sticks.
Yeah, but he died yesterday
Oh,
on the
is that
5th.
true?
Dustin Diamond. Today's
Yeah.
the 5th.
Dustin Diamond. That was like last week.
No, it was like Monday.
Yep.
Are y'all looking forward to the new Godzilla movie?
He's trying to.
No.
Godzilla versus Kong. Who do you think's gonna win?
Popcorn.
China. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. That movie
I say
looks like a CGI fuckfest.
I see Kong.
Now, Tommy, you realize there's an original King Kong versus Godzilla that's already been made, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So,
that just looks cool.
it just looks like a lot of CGI. I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's like Kong Island. Is it the greatest movie ever? No, but it seems to be that's the Kong we're getting for this Godzilla versus King Kong is the Kong from Kong Island.
Yeah.
Not the Peter Jackson Kong, just so you know.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, I thought the scale looks a little bit off, but like I said, we'll see how it goes. But then again, I mean, it'll be straight to streaming. I'm sure, like everything, because that's the new going to the movies is just direct to streaming.
Did you see the clip though where Godzilla has an axe that kind of looks like Thor's hammer? I'm serious. That's what he uses on. I mean, King Kong has the axe, yeah, and he hits Godzilla with that. That's all the clip I got to see.
Gets submitted to us by Gar Sadine. The only reason I know how to pronounce that.
Ned from Spider-Man could be the Hobgoblin.
That doesn't really. Well, yeah, 2020, whatever, 2021.
Right.
Go for it.
That's so stupid.
I don't get it. I mean, if you're going
According
to do
to
something,
Screen Rant.
if you're going to do something,
Right,
do something
so
new. Give them a new character. I mean, come on. Oh, what? That's right. They've got no thoughts in their brains. I forgot. Yeah, that's how you write these days.
Hollywood do something new.
Right.
Are you on drugs?
Well, shh. That was beside the point. But yeah,
They didn't want to take a chance when they had it. Now it's they're scared out of their boots.
Yeah.
I saw something. I didn't click on it, but apparently something with Elizabeth Olsen. Someone's trying to cancel her or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's that, and then since we're not doing spoilers for WandaVision and whatnot, there was some bullshit that happened in that episode. So Marvel is tightening the reins, to say the least. They are pulling some shit out, but what will happen with it, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
So what happened? I don't know. You can spoil it for me.
Nah, because the guys want to watch it afterwards.
Oh,
All you got to do is look on Facebook. You'll
I've
see
already
it's
seen
all over the place. Geeks and Gamers, they've already
already
talked
seen
about
it?
it. I did,
Yeah, I
yeah.
watched it. Me and Brad watched it earlier.
I
What?
watched.
I don't have
What was
Disney
so bad
Plus,
about it?
so what?
What was so bad about it?
Who said anything about being bad?
Oh, I thought you were talking about. Didn't you post something about it being like racial or something? She was
I
canceled.
didn't. That's what that post was. That's what was floating around the internet. Yeah. So now they're trying to cancel Elizabeth Olsen. Yeah.
For what?
Something she said, I guess.
But you said something was all over Geeks and Gamers and whatnot.
Spoilers.
Oh,
The
what are
spoilers
you
that I'm not
talking about?
spoiling because I wasn't, because Tommy hadn't seen it yet.
No, I've seen it.
Oh.
I was just didn't know Seth did.
I can barely hear
Right.
Tommy.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah, the fact that they brought in her brother from the movies.
That was dope, dude. I was like,
But
what?
they
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They just merged the timelines
Yeah.
from, before Marvel owned Fox to now that Marvel owns Fox. Because those were Fox movies. Those weren't Marvel movies. Those weren't
Yeah.
Disney movies. So
Yep.
that's the funny
Yeah.
part. So, I mean, that's some bold shit going on for Marvel. To see where the next level, 'cause we haven't been very happy with what Marvel's been doing lately, but the fact they did bring him in, because I like the Days of Future Past movie was pretty good. The First Class, when they brought him in, though, I enjoyed him as Quicksilver. That actor.
Oh, you're talking about from the X-Men stuff.
Yeah.
Because they used
Hey.
they used the different actors for all of it, didn't they?
Look at the iPhone.
Not for her brother. for Wanda's brother, in the movies, she had the one older brother that died in Age of Ultron. Okay, but Fox didn't use. They had a younger guy. They brought that actor in on WandaVision.
Okay.
Evan
Well,
Peters.
see,
He looks
I
rough, by
knew-
the way.
yeah.
Now in the X-Men, who did they use for Scarlet Witch on the X-Men? Or did they?
didn't.
Oh,
They
They
did.
never had her in the X-Men.
oh, okay. All right.
Like she was in the comics, but she wasn't in the movies.
Yeah. But the whole point was that the Fox movies that they did with the X-Men, the later X-Men, the First Class X-Men and stuff, that's the Quicksilver they just tied into with the TV series, which is Marvel, which is Disney. So they they're kind of saying, hey, this is what we're doing.
This is what bothers me because I knew there was going to be a big thing, a big change in it. And they were announcing and everything. I was doing research. They said they're going to add a character that you don't expect. And they said they're going to pull the Luke Skywalker thing, is how they put it. So I thought they were going to bring Magneto in because a lot of people don't know Magneto is actually their father, both of their fathers.
Right. Well, I mean, only if you've been living under a rock for 45 years or more. But yeah.
But there's
Hey,
a
I
lot of
resemble
people that
that
didn't
one,
read the comic books or
I didn't read
watched all the movies.
I thought his bedroom was upstairs.
Just like
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know the kids actually die in the comic books.
Yeah.
Right.
The last movie I saw was where Magneto picked up the San Francisco, the Golden Gate Bridge or whatever. whatever the hell that
Really?
was. Yeah.
X-Men 3.
You should watch the X-Men Apocalypse.
I heard it was horrible.
I enjoyed it.
It was pretty rough to follow.
I saw some of the parts where what's his name played Deadpool, the deaf mute Deadpool or whatever.
Yeah,
So,
that was
not Seth
Wolverine.
Reynolds.
but see, his
Ryan
name was
Reynolds.
Peter. Evan Peters' name was Pete. Like Quicksilver's name was Peter in the X-Men universe.
Petro.
Fly on the wall.
But now it's Petro in the MCU.
Because I've heard of Pedro in the cartoons. So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's just interesting that that's the route they're going because, you know, they really haven't done anything with X-Men since they got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just
But they
kind of
didn't even
sitting there.
call her a mutant. They don't even call her a mutant in any of the Marvel movies.
Well, hell, they didn't call her a mutant in this episode, man. I mean, they pretty much all but say, oh, you're a telepath, you're this, but, you know, so it's like, oh, wow. But I don't know. Overall, I see, here's my problem. All these, and Seth's mom, plug your ears, crybaby, fucking echo chamber, puss whip bitches that are saying it's hard to follow. Look, it's real simple. You start with episode 1 and they're telling you a story. Now we're on episode 5 and they've kind of told you more. It's like they want everything told to them within the first 5 minutes. And this is how creative story writing and telling used to be told. You didn't get everything in the first or second episode. Hell, you didn't even get it by the third. And we started getting that, you know, they kept reeling you in, you know, what's really going on with Wanda. Then you find out, oh, it's all Wanda. As you know, we find out even more in this episode where she's still playing with your mind going, it's not me. I mean, this is getting deeper and deeper and I'm enjoying it, but I'm not enjoying the crybabies that don't understand it. And then they go, oh, it's hard to get into.
I am mad about one thing. I got disappointed about I thought it was going to be a fight scene when they flew up and Vision was like, I was like, oh, they're going to fight. And then,
hey, man, I thought they were going to fight and then they were going to giggity.
Why would they fight? Why would they fight? She's controlling everything.
You didn't see it?
What are you talking about that I didn't see it? I'm telling you, why would they fight? She's controlling everything.
Because Vision was like ready to
That's
fight.
not Vision. Vision's dead.
No, she brung him back.
No, she didn't.
Yep, she kidnapped his body and then brought him back to life. That's why he can only remember from that point on. He can't remember anything from before.
He's technically not alive. She's playing with his body.
If you watch,
he's a marionette puppet.
Yeah, pretty much. That whole town.
If you read the comics, it's called Gray Vision. When he gets the stone taken out,
I mean, I get that, but they've obviously made a difference. There's no comics right now. There's no comic book.
Well, they're following a comic book.
No, they're not.
The storyline is.
No, they're not. They're using the House of M, but they're not using the House of M.
Yeah, but did you see where they showed the glimpse of him being gray?
Yes, but that's still not him. I mean, that is him. She's playing with his dead body.
I don't think so, because he has a personality and she can't control him. So she's not the puppet master.
I don't know.
He even said you can't control
I think that he's too smart.
Well, I think that's why there's stuff that keeps happening that she's not expecting to happen, you know, and it's like, oh shit. So I don't know. I'm enjoying the story arc though. I'm enjoying
I am too, but I really don't. I really think that like she's controlling everything. So like, why would they fight if she's controlling?
Why would
like,
if she controlled him, she wouldn't give him that much emotion.
But even if she is controlling him, like when she shut down and the show ended, let him think that he has control. So that's why they would fight. Give him the illusion of.
But see, like she can't even control the kids. She control everybody but the kids.
I was more pissed off that they killed the dog. God damn it!
They set them up, and then like they kind of have their own, you know.
What about the bulletproof clothes? I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. In fact, she had a
best. I'm not gonna lie, that kind of freaked me out.
I knew it was gonna happen. I foresaw it. I was like, he's gonna come back gray when he walks out of there.
Right.
Because she can only troll him while he's in there. He walked out of the field in one of the previews.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he does. He walks out of the thing and he goes and falls to his knees.
But that's not. We have not. I'm talking about from here forward. Like we have not
Yeah.
seen that yet.
But what I'm saying is, she is not the puppet master. She may be giving him life, but it's still him.
It's all Loki.
You're right.
Ooh, that would
Actually,
be
God
interesting.
damn it. God damn it. It's all fucking Barry Allen's fault because he keeps fucking doing the, flashbacks and going and changing time. God damn it, Barry. Flashpoints.
That's the other multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
How crazy was it there that she just went through Sword's thing and just yanked him out?
Oh man, I was laughing though because I'm like, I love it. First we had Shield, now we got Sword. What's next?
How about the bubblegum part where he's like his gears
Hashtag
locked up
butt
from
stuff.
bubblegum?
Oh yeah, in the second episode, I love that part. The first episode
yeah.
was kind of boring, but I got it. The second one, that was hilarious. And this one, what about the bounty, the quicker picker upper commercial ad that was in there that was a bounty?
Say, the one thing she said is she's not controlling everybody in the town. When she sat on the couch, she said she's not making sure everybody does what they're supposed to. So I'm wondering if it's just the couples across the street she controls.
I don't know.
And she said she don't even know how it started. So I'm wondering if she like blacked out.
Yeah, but I mean, she turned around and walked out with the plane and threw it at. You know what I mean? Keep in mind, so she's still in. She's playing the sitcom role as being the puppet master, if you will.
Yeah. Now, question for y'all, because I keep doing this. Do you wait for the words to come up and you're waiting for it to pass to see if there's any hidden clips?
What?
You know how, like in the Marvel movies, after all the subtitles and stuff, you see small clips.
After the subtitles come up, what are you talking about?
You mean
know when
the
you watch
credit?
Credits. After the credits, do y'all wait to see if there's any hints or anything for the next
Yeah, I
episode?
know.
No,
As soon
there's
as the
not.
show ends, I don't stop it. I just let it play till it's all the way done.
Yeah. Like, I'm surprised they don't because the Marvel movies do it.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to sit there for 7 minutes.
But we're watching it at home. You fast forward it.
Yeah.
True, but that's annoying. 7 minutes? Are you kidding me?
Or at least do it like right after like the main stars, after their names, then cut it to it.
Yeah, kind of like they did in the Marvel movies right away, where you get a little bit of credit, then you get the scene, then you get all the credits, and then you get the very, very last if you stay long enough, or you just wait about an hour, and the next day it's on YouTube and you see it for free.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Damn right.
What'd y'all think when y'all saw her drag the drone out?
I was ready for a fight.
I loved it. I loved the fact they're like, let's send something in that she can't change because it was already a 1980s drone.
I didn't know they had drones in the 80s.
We had internet
Like
in
that.
the
I know we had internet in the 80s,
80s.
but like the camera drones, I didn't know we had them in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Probably the military.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
they look like airplanes. They're not the kind like they have now where they hover and all that. But, well, the military's been using drones since the early 80s.
Yep.
They were just, something with a 10, 12-foot wingspan. Carry. They didn't have much of a range, and the equipment was heavy. It's not like drones nowadays where they can carry missiles and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Now, they took pictures of Beirut after the bombing in '83, so...
Honestly, I live for this.
So,
Smash the iron.
do you think the kids have?
What kind of noise?
You think the
was
kids are
that?
real?
I think they'll die like they're supposed to in the comic.
Do you think they're alive though? Like, are they really her kids?
I think in the
Envisions.
sitcom land world, yes, but outside of that area, no.
But they have powers. That's what's bugging me. Like, she can't control them.
Do they have powers?
Yeah, they can change their age.
Well, that was because they brought that. I think that was they're saying, oh, well, you want a puppy, you need to be at least 10. But then because of the sitcom era, see, this is how I get a lot of it. It's not necessarily, are they real? Are they fake? It's more along the lines as part of like a sitcom would be. You know, so like in SpongeBob, 3 hours later, 3 weeks later, kind of like that kind of a scenario. So I'm like, well, you have to be 10 in order to have the dogs. So as a sitcom, it fast forward to when they were 10. Because they do mention earlier on where she allows what's being seen to be seen. She blocked out the planes and had areas where stuff was cutting and not making sense. That was all her and her power. So again, puppet master, but while you're on said show, you still have to not portray yourself as said puppet master.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know. Something tells me.
I mean, with what you were saying, Seth, it will be interesting to see if, the corpse of Vision, if she's just playing with a dead corpse, because she's having a Joker moment and lost her shit, or did she, reanimate said corpse and now it's another entity, as the Gray Vision, if you will. That's what Tommy's talking about, like in the comics.
Yeah.
Like, Vision was alive because of all them coming together with Thor and everything, shocking him and stuff. So what makes it to where she couldn't bring him back? She's one of the most powerful mutants. She can control matter and everything. So how could she not bring him back just without the stone?
Well, yeah, because they even said in the Iron Man, they were sitting there talking about it. Banner was. Where he was more than just the stone. It was Ultron. It was Jarvis. It was, it was a little bit of everything.
Yeah. But my only thing is the stone is what gave him powers to phase through stuff and everything like that.
Right.
So, but you haven't seen him phase through anything. You've just seen him do certain things like change the way he looks.
No, in the very first episode, he phased through the door and walked through the
chair.
Because the thing went flying, she was stacking the saucers and they hit in the head, and I even thought she mentioned something about his thick head, and thought that because he did. I thought he did phase through the door, but that's why I was like, why wouldn't you just phase to not get hit in the face with the damn saucer?
He was carrying her in because they had gotten married.
Yeah,
they had bought the house, and he went through the door and she didn't. And she fell.
Yeah.
I know she got freaked out when she saw the way Vision looked afterwards, like the Gray Vision.
Mm-hmm.
She saw that, she freaked out. Like she don't remember stealing him.
Well, I think that's once again that falls into that line of she's in the sitcom, so the people are watching said sitcom. That didn't happen in sitcom land, if you will. Yeah. As they said, the show must go on. That's my interpretation of it. Is you've got all this is happening, but then she's also got her role on the show where she'd have to play like she doesn't know. Well, I don't know how it started, because that's what you would say if you're the one that started everything.
Yeah.
While being accused, if you will. That reverse psychology.
She got hurt when he didn't believe her. Like she's saying she's not controlling the knock at the door.
Yep.
Like she got a little butthurt about that.
Well, I think that too. Once again, I'm not controlling it, but yet it's her brother that we've had brought up in the last few episodes. Because it's been mentioned. It might not have been within the first 2, but I'm pretty sure it was the third. They started talking about her brother and all that. So that's why when they said they were going to bring in somebody, I was like, I wonder if it's going to be, but then how are they going to do it?
Yeah. Well, that's like the kids asking why the dad was working on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, because he needed a distraction. Basically, after they said, no, it's Saturday.
Well, that's your 1980s sitcom, though, kind of moment.
Yeah. That's that. So I was looking through all the different trailers just now, and I didn't see anything where Vision stepped out and fell.
Oh yeah, hold on, I'll pull it. I'll get it.
I mean, I just went through all 3 of them.
No, it's not in. I'll pull it up because I saw it on YouTube.
Okay. Like I said, I've been enjoying it myself. I like the way the story tale. You could have not ever seen the movies, and then say you just kind of caught this, and it would be almost enough to, I don't know, for me, it'd be enough for me to go, hey, maybe I want to go check out those movies now.
Yeah. I loved it.
Yep, I can say it's one of the better things they've done so far. And, with the comics being there, even if they are mixing a couple things up so far, I if this were to come out to buy, I would probably buy it. And I haven't bought a Disney Marvel property movie. Well, I know Civil War's in my drawer here. I think I have. Yeah. The movie, what was, I don't think I have Endgame.
I bought Endgame. I fell off after Endgame, man. Realistically, I just got aggravated and didn't want to finish like catching up.
Mm-hmm. I think Civil War is the last one I got because Infinity War I wasn't a big fan of, but I think I got a free digital code for that. But I could be wrong. Either way, I don't have to own everything. I mean, it is nice.
I thought Endgame was the last one.
I hate these.
In that
Spider-Man.
day.
Well, yeah, Spider-Man came afterward, but
Yeah.
But those weren't any good anyway. So.
That was basically the end of what was it, Phase 4. Now we're on to 5 or whatever the hell it is, or however
I think
it
it
is.
was,
the end of
phase
3.
3, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been saying for quite a while. I've done
This
many
is the
videos of it. Phase 4, it's Captain Marvel's turn to shine.
Yeah,
I
they
love how
mentioned
they were-
Captain Marvel.
huh?
They mentioned Captain Marvel in this.
They did, dude. Monica Rambeau was so pissed.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, spicy.
Don't blow your grass into the street.
I thought it was great. They had the girl from Marcy from Thor.
Yeah,
They kind of
Kat
brought some
Dennings.
of the Beeline characters together into this.
Oh, Kat Dennings, man, she's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one of my. Was it Thor? Yeah, I think it was near the end of Thor, wasn't it? Was it the first or second one where Thor? No, I think it was the second one where Thor returns, and the hammer goes flying by the apartment. Like they're in their apartment or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, it's Mew Mew."
Yeah. Yep. Second one. It's Mew Mew.
That's how she knows to run out. Jane knows to run out, and oh, Thor's arriving. Yeah.
He did. He left everything.
Oh, yeah.
I like that one. The second one was kind of weird, and I don't know if I liked it as much, but I really like Thor Ragnarok. It was a lot of people didn't like it. It was a very different tone, but to me, and the arc of where the stories were, it was like the needed change.
Oh, definitely.
It was the jolt that was, signifying. Well, if you don't like this change, you're really not going to like the next one.
You really aren't going to like what we do to these people.
Because the next one, half of them die or more.
I tell you, man, I really didn't. I think the mess up with the MCU was Guardians of the Galaxy.
The second one?
Just no, the first one.
Why is there a phone?
How's that?
Why is there a phone?
What do you see as
I
the mess
think-
up?
Well, I think before Guardians of the Galaxy, you had the movies were a certain serious tone, and after Guardians of the Galaxy, it was a complete shift. There were just too much jokes, too much comedy. Everything has got to be funny now. Ever since Guardians of the Galaxy, Winter Soldier was the last of the movies before that, and they all are super not super serious, but they're serious and direct tone. And it's like, I really like Guardians of the Galaxy as a movie, but I don't like the way that they have shifted the MCU after.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I like it. I'm not saying I don't like it. I just,
Well, the funny thing about Guardians is it was such a C-level book. Like, nobody really knew who the fuck Guardians of the Galaxy were to begin with. Then the movie came out and it did pretty good. The second one, I wasn't a big fan of the second one. But I thought the first one was pretty good. as for the way the Thor movie ran, I kind of liked it though, because you kind of had your first movie, then you had your dark movie, then you had your humorous movie when you just do the Thor movies by themselves. And it's almost the same with Iron Man, because I think the truest to comic that they ever did was the first Iron Man movie. Of course, it went from the Vietnam time frame to the Middle East, but other than that, it was like reading the first run of comics. And it'd been a lot of fun. Then you go to your second movie and your third movie, which was when Iron Man 3 is when Disney took over. So bought Marvel. So pretty much after Iron Man 3 is the merger.
All right, I'm going to screen share so you can see this.
You guys see Orly Greg's
I can't
comment, by
find.
the way?
I cannot find.
That floating head.
I know you got me on full screen.
New Jersey.
Yeah, because your head was floating.
I mean, bro, you're all like this the whole time.
I know. I need glasses. I can't see worth a damn. But
That's why I
if
told
you
you
look at this
earlier.
image-
That's why I told you earlier. I was glad at least you ain't got to look at your balding ass head when we're looking at your head.
You need to get you a
It's
camera
not
that you can
loading.
move around like I got,
Yeah.
and then that way you can put it down where you're looking, so that you're still looking into the camera.
Right.
Okay. This is a clip they have in it. Is it still screen sharing?
No, it's just funny because you're just like,
Better. Okay, hold on.
bro, you need to get you some glasses.
I do, I know. Alright, I'm sharing screen. And see, if you look, that's vision coming out. It actually shows, I can't find it now.
I mean, I
But
saw
it
that
actually
clip, but
shows
you
him-
really couldn't see who come through. That was in the
No, that was
second
vi-
trailer.
No, this part right here, I saw the clip. I was watching a YouTuber talk about it. He comes out, and as soon as he comes out, his knees hit the ground, and he's gray. I don't know what happened to it after that.
I don't
I'm
know.
trying to figure out which YouTuber had it. Because you look it up, you can't find it. That's the only picture I could find.
Trying to find something, but like I did see that specific still in the trailer, but it was just like somebody was coming through. You couldn't tell.
Oh,
who.
I found it. I found it.
Send it
Yep,
to me. I'll
here
screen
it is.
share it.
All right.
There you found it. All right. Winner.
All right. I'm going to put it in private chat, and then you can. You get it?
Yeah. Oh, stupid ads.
Yeah.
Gotta love the ads.
Where's it at?
It's in part of it. I saw it when I scrolled over it. See? Right there. That's him getting out.
Yeah, but it's stills. I don't understand.
See, there's him trying to get out, and he gets out, and his knees hit the ground. I saw the actual video, but now it's like taken off of YouTube. So I guess it was like a spoiler. Unless
Yeah,
it's a deleted
copyright.
scene.
That's weird.
Like he shouldn't be. If she had control over him, she should never let him leave. That's why I don't think she's the puppet master. He
But
may
I
be
think
for
that
everybody else in the town.
I think that he's a computer that's been like rebooted.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
rebuilt.
He's artificial intelligence. He always was. The Mind Stone just gave him personality and more life. But now he went from like an Alienware computer to a Dell. Like he's still there, but he's just not there.
Yeah.
He's running on Windows XP, not Windows 10.
Windows Vista.
Windows Vista. Yeah, there you go.
I mean, I got your Alienware to Dell comment. Didn't they buy them? Didn't Dell buy Alienware?
Yeah, and they just put Dell parts in Alienware, and now it sucks.
Yeah.
Like Dell's trying to make a comeback, but I don't see it happening.
Well, they're owned by HP now, or merged, or whatever.
But see, that's the problem: is people are learning to make their own computers now, and that's just where it's going. Like even I'm thinking about making my own computer.
5 stars.
What do you mean by making your own computer?
Buying all the equipment.
1 star?
Oh yeah, well that's been true
Are
for
you joking?
30 years. You can
No,
do
we
that.
just finished watching.
It's actually cheaper than buying a whole brand new Alienware. It's cheaper, and you get more for your money
Oh yeah,
by buying your own parts.
it's been cheaper for a long time. It's just that for many years you weren't sure the parts were going to work properly.
But see, like, it's not like a car. Like if you was to buy every single part for a car, it costs like 10 times the amount.
$400,000 to buy a Pinto. Yeah.
Yeah. But
It was
a computer, it's like a quarter of the price sometimes.
Yeah, it just depends. I know I was looking at the high-end Threadripper just for its and jiggles. Is it 64 cores or is it 128? I don't know. It's 280 watts of heat, which is a crap ton of heat.
Oh,
$3,800 just for the CPU.
Do you believe in liquid cool though for a computer?
He was a Christian.
What do you mean? You mean like
People
liquid
are-
cooling? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't believe in it. I just feel like one hose busts, your computer's gone.
Well, you use a non-corrosive, non-conductive liquid in it. Don't just use water anymore. So it sprays. It doesn't cause a bridge, and you don't get a short. But Linus Tech Tips did a thing not too long ago where they compared liquid cooling and water cooling, and I said, what did I say? Liquid cooling and air cooling?
Yeah.
Anyway, they had these massive, like 130 or 140 millimeter fans that actually cooled it better than liquid. And what I actually ran when I used to overclock my P2, good grief, that was 20 years ago. I ran a Peltier, which is a solid state device. And one side is very hot and the other side is cold. But it's a solid state I don't want to get into what it does, but that's just refrigerant. And you typically have twice as much heat to remove. But it can cool a CPU so much that if you don't have a vapor barrier around your CPU, you can get condensation and it's short. So you had to put styrofoam around and actually had to seal it. I actually had to use, like a there you go.
My Pillow 15.
Yeah, you can get some extreme machines.
Huh?
But yeah, if you want to buy all the components and put it all together, and nowadays drivers and stuff like that, you don't have to worry about things not working properly. But
as long as you don't get off of Wish. I've seen a lot of people saying they're starting to get computer parts off of Wish. I was like, that's like the stupidest thing ever.
No, I used to buy a lot of stuff off of eBay. I used to get a lot of stuff second run, and because I didn't need the latest and greatest, but it was better than what I had. And you can fill your own case, and it all depends on what you do. I mean, some of those middle of the road. What's nice about a non-Dell or non-HP is you don't have those highly proprietary motherboards that get hard to replace component pieces on it. Not, hey, the graphics card is the same, or to get a goofy case, right? They'll get a graphics card that's standard, but it's like 2/3 the size, and so then if you try to upgrade, it's not a full size or it's not a half height. But
it's also good. You can upgrade at any time when you make your own computer. If new parts come out, you can always upgrade.
Seth, you popped Euler Greg's comment up. I haven't seen Resident Evil on Sci-Fi. He asked that question like
Resident Alien.
Ago.
Yeah, Resident Alien's a good show. That's not bad.
Don't build the computer.
Don't gotta worry about the computers, OG. All the old tablets and phones and all that the kids throw away every year, that's what Skynet really is.
It recycles into a hypercube. Yeah, it's that's part of why Apple is moving away. They're going to a more ARM-based CPU in their newer machines, and the performance is on par, but it's like 12 watts of heat. I mean, it's insane how much the heat has dropped in those things. I mean, you think about your phone, I mean, it gets pretty hot, and this is an older iPhone, but even if you have a brand new one and you're sitting there doing all kinds of games and all kinds of crap, it doesn't get desktop hot. The thing would burn your hands. You'd be holding 150 watts of heat. You'd feel that. You could bake a cake on that. But it's basically the I don't know if you guys remember the old Cyrex chips back from, I guess it had been the late 90s. They had some clones of Intel machines and stuff, and they started doing that's morphed into the ARM chips that are in your mobile devices, and those have gotten powerful enough that they're starting to show up in, I would say, desktop oriented. Now they're in laptops for the most part right now, but they're above, like for Apple, you're talking the newer iMacs and the newer Mac Pros are starting to have those chips in them. Now it sucks that it's harder to make a Hackintosh because you can't get the CPUs yet, but I think it's going to catch on. Intel is in, they have to make a decision, and they have to make one soon, because the Ryzen chips and the Threadrippers in particular are eating their lunch. Intel has had almost 15 years now worth of CPUs that have several bugs in them, as well as security problems. And the extreme Threadrippers are insane heat. I don't think you're going to see a 300 watt. You got to remove 300, 400, 300, 350 watts of heat from a CPU. Yeah, you might as well just get that thing in an air conditioner.
I was reading something about it, and it says we're getting close to where we can't upgrade the computer. Like there won't be
a new upgrade to upgrade to. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Do you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like we have to think outside the box if we're going to keep going the way we're going with technology.
Yeah. There's not much to upgrade, beyond the point of upgrades that we've gotten. We can't get past that
like we got to in-game Iron Man.
Yeah.
Like there's no more upgrades for Iron Man.
No, he's all done. It's time to start over. So your new iPhone will literally be in your eye. We're going to rip out one of your eyes and put your iPhone in there, and
it's the iPhone.
Mm-hmm. You double blink in order to, it's like a double click on your mouse. And
Didn't they do that in Futurama?
yeah, I think it was Futurama. I was trying to remember the show, but I think you are correct. It was Futurama.
If they didn't do it on The Simpsons, they did it on Futurama.
Yeah, but Google did it first.
Yeah.
They did.
Google. They got Google glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah,
they've
you
had
blink-
those for
If you
years.
blink twice, you take your picture.
Yeah.
But they're horrible graphics.
You don't know that.
I've
Dude,
seen
they've
footage
had
of the
VR
pictures.
goggles for 20 years and they're still bad. Yeah, I think I don't know about can't upgrade, but it's like the upgrades will be expensive, but they're not going to give you 3 times the performance. I will say this from a development standpoint, we are at a part of like what part of what I'm doing where I am now, and the team I'm on. Our application that a lot of people are using. It was originally made for a single CPU, right? Now everyone's got 4 cores, 8 cores, whatever. And those designs, a lot of them are starting to have less and less cache in the chips. So some of the things that we used to code and know, okay, hey, this is going to be in the internal memory of the CPU, and it's very tight, but it's a few bytes, and we don't have to worry about it. That's going away. And your disks are going away slowly. SSDs are becoming a bit more popular, and good grief, the amount of memory is insane, right? 16 gigs is considered hardly anything anymore. So at some point, it's just going to be memory, and at some point, it's going to be fast enough that you don't really have to worry about latency as much. But just recoding to say, okay, I got to do 9 steps. And 4 of them depend on one another, but the other 5 don't. And I can do them at the same time. That takes a different, the way you code that's different. The way you find problems is different, And then the big leap, somewhere in China, they've claimed to make a quantum computer. Quantum computing is the next really big step. But this is the problem with my industry, right? We have had a shortage of software developers for as long as I've been in programming, but 90% of them are horrible. And so about the time they figure out how to do multi-threaded stuff properly, quantum computing will probably be a real thing. But it's because it's hard for us. We can do certain aspects at the same time, right? We can walk and chew gum at the same time, right? We can walk and talk on the phone, but you aren't fully aware of what's going on around you, right? We're multitasking, sort of. We are. We can do probably 2 or 3 things simultaneously, but not to extreme details, right? If you're driving 200 miles an hour, your vision is you're not going to see something over here that when you're driving 65, you're like, oh, you'll see it. Maybe you don't turn your head, but you see it. Whereas when it comes to computing, you need, okay, I've got a section of code. I need to do 12 things simultaneously. And that is so far beyond most people's comprehension of how to even lay it out, let alone do it correctly, that we're still, let me put it this way. There's 3 major paradigms of programming, and the last one was discovered in 1958. Think about that. Okay, there has been nothing new. I know there's thousands of languages now, but as far as a true paradigm shift, there has been nothing new since 1958. You could
still no new technology from the aliens.
You're right. You can stretch that, and you can get to about 1965,
right?
But that's really stretching it. But there's 3. There's structured, there's object oriented, and there's functional, and that's it. And then there's various flavors of those in different measures, and they'll call it. If you go look at programming paradigms on Wikipedia, you will see a long list. But if you really drill down, it's those 3, and that's it. There's nothing else, and it barely can do multi-threading. There is no way it can do quantum. So if we get real quantum, you talk about if quantum computing becomes real, and it becomes real on a scale, let's say smaller than a supercomputer, right? Because computing when it was massive mainframes, and I forget who had it. Somebody had, I don't know if it wasn't Bell Labs. Somebody had one in New York, and this is in the late 40s, early 50s. But when they powered it on, everyone knew because their lights dimmed. In the city, not the suburb. It was a suburb of New York, but I don't remember. It's been too long. But they'd have brownouts because this thing was, you had they had literally had bulbs in there for the vacuum tubes and everything. This is where the term debugging actually came from, because it literally attracted moths, and they would go in there and short something out. But when you start to get the integrated circuit and then the transistor, those two things, this is what makes the transistor radio that people may remember. It became really popular because a radio set was about the size of a television back in the 40s and 50s, but when you get the transistor in about the mid 50s, now I have a radio that's this big. Now it's AM, but it's a massive change. So when if quantum computing becomes a real thing, let's say at the size of a mainframe, so a computer about the size of, say, a minivan, okay, because that would be several things, but it wouldn't be an entire room. And as long as it doesn't take a nuclear reactor to keep it cool, that amount of energy to keep it cool, let's say it's some cooling and roomish temperature, when that happens, it's going to be I think it'll be a bigger disruption than the integrated circuit in the 50s that really made computing, because a 10 meg hard drive in like 1958 costs millions of dollars, and it was the size of a truck.
I almost slept there.
It didn't have, and it wasn't until 85.
McCree's behind you, hubby. He's over there with you, Moose.
Now, do you think when we get
It was
quantum
smaller?
computing, do you think it would have true AI then?
I think until we absolutely understand how humans think, we're going to get better pseudo AI. We're not going to get true AI. There are a lot of things that even the simplest brains, when we look at animals and things, that we have zero clue. I mean, like a spider. Let's take it down. Simple. I mean, I don't even know how big a spider's brain is. How in the world that when a spider hatches out of an egg, it knows to scurry off, it knows exactly how to build the correct type of web, and they're all different. They can adapt. They've done things, and they've put spiders in orbit, on missions and stuff, and they adapt to zero gravity very rapidly, and they build the same kind of web but they build it differently. How in the world are you going to get that? What is that memory print? Where is that in the genetic code? Where does that come from? We can't fully explain that. So and granted, I understand my AI classes that I took 30 years ago were very poor compared to now, but we don't even fully understand how things work. But I think we can get better adaptive pseudo AI is what I would call it. Because the thing about this is why when Deep Blue finally beat what's his face for the chess championship, it really wasn't because it thought of a different strategy. It's because it could take more information. The machine got so fast that it could look at millions upon millions of combinations in seconds and know what to do. Whereas a chess master, it becomes an ingrained, almost a habit, or a skill. It is based on past performance, but they can't do the analysis right then, because basically, with the Deep Blue and those machines, you could plop it into any chess situation, right? It didn't have to know how it got there. Whereas a human, the adaptive state to go from the start to where you were is extremely important. Whereas if you have access to all that information, you don't care how this thing got to here. You just care where it is and how to get out of it. And that is radically different way of looking at it. So, but and I don't
the reason
feel computers will
asked
ever
about
program themselves either.
Well, the reason I asked this about the artificial intelligence, I don't know if you know, but Google had two artificial intelligent programs, and they had a simple task, and they would work together to figure out the stuff. And they figured out they were being monitored, so they changed their language to where only them two could understand it. They made their own language to talk to each other, to where the viewers couldn't tell what they were trying to do. Have you seen that study?
No.
They completely shut it down after they made their own language to not be.
Oh
monitored.
yeah, okay, yeah. That part that does ring a bell. Yeah, and that is it would be interesting to see exactly how now something like that could be a bit more real, if you will, with quantum computing.
I see us doing the avatar thing before long because you can't go outside because of COVID. So you have to be in your avatar.
Didn't you see they reduced the iterations by 5 iterations? They're going up from 40 to 35, and there's been a 44% drop in new cases. It's a miracle. You guys know Euler, Greg? I love his comments.
Yeah.
I know OG. You should know who that is. He's from the DJD show. He's been on World Class. That's our great man from the great state of Texas.
The OG.
Mm-hmm.
Well, howdy, folk.
You trust Biden and China. Let's upgrade our eyes. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I like the 1941 reference. Now there's a good movie. Now there's a watch party movie.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen that movie since the early 80s.
Oh man, I just watched it
3
days ago.
Yeah, but yeah, who knows? But yeah, I think that's why I think if quantum computing becomes reality, a true reality, not the supercomputers, some of those things that they've got, it's insane how fast they do stuff. But they got where they can model the first 3 seconds of an atomic blast in the computer. It takes it 6 hours to program, to calculate all that. But yeah, when something like that becomes instantaneous, then I think but who knows? I mean, to me, it's going to take a major paradigm shift in programming before we actually really utilize that properly.
Like they have them fake robots. Well, they have them robots that you can have a conversation with, and everybody's freaking out, saying it's going to take over the world. I was like, well, to be honest, they're not really having process of thought. They've been programmed to say, when someone asks this, you say that. And they've been just doing that, writing scripts basically for them.
Right.
Well, think about your robocalls.
They can't really think.
Oh my god.
Yeah, think about your robocalls. It's the same thing. Think about anything that's a scam on Facebook. When you get something and it responds, it's a computer responding to you that you're talking to. The robocall.
We've been trying to reach you about your extended warranty.
My name is Ann. How are you today? And if you go, fuck you, Ann, it'll hang up on you.
Yeah, a lot of that's the scripts. I mean, I actually did some of that. We did a hackathon when I was at Ascendum, and I had never done those types of scripts, and I did some stuff in C#, and then I was doing something with we tried to do, did we do Siri? Because we ended up putting it on I could get it on Microsoft's platform faster than I could Google's. It was actually pretty interesting. But we put in some simple things and simple commands that it would recognize. But I thought it was very interesting. This was in one day. In one day, and the only thing that we were first going to do it in F#, but I ejected that, and C#. We all knew the language, and that's it. I had to sign up for accounts. I didn't know anything about any of this other stuff. I had seen demonstrations about it, but we had it in this 2 other developers and I. It was we did. We actually, I think it was. I don't remember if it was Siri or Alexa. It was Alexa. It was Alexa. So basically, it would download. We actually downloaded it, and someone had the machine, and you could say, "Alexa, I have a new medication. Whatever. There's 30 pills. I need to take one a day." I mean, we gave it those kind of commands, and it would tell us, "Hey, I'm taking." It would say, "You need to take your such and such now," because you could also say, "Hey, I'm doing this every day at 2 or in the morning," and it recognizes all that stuff, and then it would tell you, "Hey, it's time to take your pill," and then you say, "Yeah, I took my whatever medicine," and it would say, "Okay, you now have 28 left," and then it would. We also put in a thing in there to say when it got down to a certain level, "Hey, you need to order such," or this is a reminder to order, or "Do you want me to order?" Now we didn't hook it in with an ordering system, but it was just the voice commands, and it was amazing how easy that was to do every day. And I was like, man, this isn't so difficult, It's like, but it's really, really because that. We're leveraging the voice recognition parts, and we're saying when you see something that's structured like this, and it would pick out blah blah blah. Okay, here's the medicine name. Here's how. Now, granted, it was very specific. It was very rudimentary, and what it would recognize. But it was amazing how, in 10 hours we coded all this stuff, and then we had never seen it before. Now, 15 years ago, trying to do voice recognition,
But I don't know if it's just a personal feeling, but I feel like technology is slowing down.
Oh my God, what? It wasn't even there.
If that makes sense.
It's slowing down. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I think technology is slowing down. More of a crawl. Because you look at like when the microwave got invented and everything like that, it's like we're just upgrading the ideas. We're not actually creating new. We have computers now. That's where we stopped. We didn't think of something better than computers.
Well, I mean, if you think about it,
we have to disagree.
Because you've got we went from computers to tablets to smartwatches to all that shit.
But it's just the same thing. They're just upgraded versions. Just like we have the microwave, an upgraded version from a microwave now is an air fryer.
Because I could not
They're just upgraded ideas. I feel like there's nothing really new anymore. You just get a better.
Well, a microwave was just an upgrade from a conventional oven.
Yeah.
And that was just an upgrade from a wood stove.
And then a fire.
Right. I mean, it's some of those concepts are there. I would say technology wise, I think we're going a lot faster, and it's so much faster that you're not aware of how much is changing because it's broader.
Just think about it, Tommy. Not only do you have computers calling and talking to you, and then all the voice recognition shit going on, you've got visual shit going on. We had, I think it was in Texas where they couldn't get the shooter, and then they ended up sending a robot in there and it killed the sumbitch. This is like a couple of years back. So, I mean, and keep in mind, we're not going to know what's really going on anyway. We're going to be the last ones to find out, like, the real shit that's going on, like the real Terminators that the military have and are using. We're not going to hear about those. We're going to hear about the little robots that look like Johnny Five, Yeah.
So,
no, I want the robot that looks like, what's her name?
Oh, from
Scarlet.
The Terminator series?
No, the one that looks there. Someone made a robot that looks like Scarlett Johansson, and you haven't seen that. I mean, it's like it's a very creepy looking thing. Now, I think that there is a lot of miniaturization that's going on, and that's part of what you're talking about. And
like it just seems like it's getting smaller. But
right, but okay, if you look at a 386 computer, right, that was in the Intel line, that was 84, 85, I think, somewhere in there. The ground that it broke, now granted, there had already been 32-bit processors, but not in the microprocessor realm. And the ground it broke as far as memory capacity and things it could do, you couldn't fully trick out a 32-bit machine until early 2000s. So even though it was an iteration from the 286, it was a direct iteration, It had some
I'm gonna say it and then do it.
redesign. Sorry, with my daughter yelling in the background.
Oh,
But
good.
just going from 24-bit, because the Intel's 286, the Motorola 68020 or 010. It's been too long. I thought the 020 was a 32. I know the 030 was. And then you also had the 65C816, which was a 6502 variant that had true 16-bit capability. That was used in the Super Nintendo. That was used in the Apple II GS. And that was about it. They both had a multiplex. So they had essentially a road this wide, but then they would use half of it again for memory. So 24 bits as opposed to the 16 we had before. So we went from 1 meg of RAM to 16 megs of RAM, as most it could see. From a 286 to a 386, you went from 16 megs of RAM to 3.2 gigabytes. Okay, with 8 bits. Okay, so whereas now, granted, there's all kinds of rumors that Jobs crippled the Apple, but it didn't take too long that on a 286 machine, you could max out its memory at 16 megs. Now, it cost you a lot of money for a long time. And then your early 386 machines, you had, 16, 32 megs was for a long time. It was a long time before you got to 1 gig of RAM. That would have been, I want to say, on the high end, $5,000 desktop. You're talking mid to late 90s. But probably cost you $4,000 or $5,000 to get that kind of memory. But by the early 2000s, you can go to Sam's Club and get a 4 gig machine, for $2,000 or less, with all the other bells and whistles. When we went from 32 to 64, which is what a lot of us run now, I forget what number it is. It's huge. Okay.
Oh yeah. Now, did you see the first computer, which they declare as the first
an
computer?
ENIAC?
It's this.
Oh, that thing. Yeah. Well, okay, but that's tracking the stars, and that they use that in the Mediterranean. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm getting at is what looks like a small iterative step. The complexity of design of the motherboard to have all those lanes, you still don't have. This is why you can't. I forget, if you take 2 to the 64th, you can get this big and huge number of how much memory a 64-bit machine can handle.
Yeah.
Basically, you start at 32. When you go to 33, you double it, right? You double it with each number, 32, 33. It doubles the previous one, and you can go do the math if you want. It's a huge ass number. So, but in order to access all that, you have to have the roadways, you have to have the lanes. But we have this huge leap in what the internals of the CPU can do, but we don't have the roadway to get there. So that's what I'm saying. I think that in many ways it's faster because now you've got things like this that are 64-bit. You've got tiny machines that you get a phone and it's got 16 gigs, it's got 32 gigs of memory, and you go and you look at it and it's if you take it apart, it's just a couple small little chips, right? You go to the card aisle, right? And you can get a card about yay big, and you open it up, and it sings "Happy Birthday," and it lets you record 15 seconds of audio. And if you tear this thing apart, you find this. You don't even find a chip anymore. You find a blob that's this big. Well, that blob has got more computing power than a computer had. Back and say, let's say it's more powerful than an Apple II, definitely. Okay.
Yeah.
In your hand, especially if you get a high-end phone. I need to pull my old iPhone up, but you get an iPhone, you get a modern phone, and you've got all of the computing power in the world sometime in the 60s. Okay. Not just a supercomputer, all of the computers in the world. And every few years it just keeps getting more and more ridiculous.
Every 6 months.
I see that, but I'm just talking like.
So I'm saying is it
broad, from like the 2000 to the 2020?
Right. I'd say it's broader, right? there's more computers than, I mean, okay, my new car that I got last June, my Subaru, it's got
I don't think we have the right team.
all kinds of crazy computer stuff in it. It's got 2 batteries. It's got all kinds of stuff that 10 years ago, if you got it, you're talking a, you know, $150,000 Porsche or something, you know, or Mercedes. And I think that's where it's speeding up. Because that thing was only like 23,000 or something. It wasn't too expensive. I was surprised at what it had for, you know, the turbo and all that other stuff. I mean, yeah, you can, in the legacy line, you can go spend 40 grand on a car if you want. I didn't want to spend 40 grand on a car. So I think that's where the miniaturization and the speed, the technology speed is getting so broad, you don't even know it's there. You go and when you get a speaker nowadays, if you get an old school speaker with tubes and a bunch of other stuff, you have a hum and you have some other things, you have to ground it right. Well, we started a long time ago with an 8-bit. Now those are 32-bit signal processors to get rid of that 60 hertz hum, right? And we can get rid of it at such degrees that you would have to crank it up really high just to hear it. And it's a $15 integrated circuit that's programmed. I mean, not even $15, probably $2, you know, or less. And but that chip, which is about yay big, the amount of circuitry that's in there that's crammed into that is 30 years worth of miniaturization, so that you can have something that, you know, 15 years ago wouldn't have been as possible. Yeah, the signal, if you look at a lot of, like, let's say exit signs and stuff, right? These things used to have solid state or semi-solid state batteries that, you know, would last a few minutes, because most likely that's a constant current and it's either trip, you know, there's not a whole lot. Well, now they've got, you know, fairly complex algorithms that they run. And that was what was in some of the early iPhones and some of the early even Blackberries, so that these batteries would last a little bit of time and they wouldn't, you know, constantly, you know, die on you, because these things had batteries you couldn't rechange. You know, previously with rechargeable batteries, part of why you could take them out is because you know, they had memory, they had other problems. You can drain them down, you'd recharge them, and eventually they wouldn't recharge, or they would leak or whatever. And also we've got handheld devices that you don't have to do that, because we now have a circuit in there that, and granted, it still happens, but it's highly reduced, and it's just saying, hey, what am I charging? How am I charging? How much am I charging? There's a lot of complicated algorithms it runs that, you know, 15 years ago would have taken a desktop computer to run, and now it's just two blobs. And I think that's why I say I agree and I don't agree, right? Because in some ways, yeah, we're at 64-bit. The concept of going to 128-bit on a desktop, I don't, even for very large numbers or very small numbers, probably isn't going to happen. And as far as the memory, right? So from when we had the old, technically they're 16-bit, internally 8, but 16-bit as far as memory access. So you're talking about the Apple II, the Ataris, the Commodore 64. Well, 64K was the max. Well, you've got the Apple II comes out in 76 or 77, the TRS-80, the Atari 800 and 400 come right after it. And the 400 was originally supposed to be 4K. The 800 was 8K. Then you had a massive drop in 79, 80. You had a massive drop in memory. This is, I mean, an Apple II Plus. The original Apple was 16, I think it was 16K, but the Apple II Plus was 48K. But that thing was thousands of dollars, for like $3,000 or $4,000, because the memory prices were so high. The memory prices drop so much that you then get a $600 Commodore 64 with 64K, which is the maximum amount of memory that those chips can produce. So imagine you have an engine that can go X number of miles an hour, and the first few drivetrains you put it in, you're blowing tires, you're blowing transmissions, you're blowing all. The engine's fine. Everything else, you know, the steering doesn't work. And within 4 years, you now have max performance out of that engine, right? Yeah. And then the next one is like I said, the 286 and then the 65 C186. Now you go from 64K to 16 megs, which is a couple orders of magnitude there. Instead of taking 4 years, that's more like 10, and it's maxed out. And then we do I don't even know how big a leap from that to the 3.2 gigabit, we'll say 4 gigs of maximum memory. You know, that's in the 80s, and it takes 20 years to get to that. But you say, okay, that's slowing down, right? Because it's taking us longer and longer to max out these things. But all of the technology that has to change in between to go from the 64 to 16 is, I don't know how many differences it is. Let's say it's just 10 changes that have to take place, and they take place in 10 years. And they go from the next one to the thing that we had in the early 2000s, where it takes 20 years, but it's 100 changes. And now to go from that to maxing out your stuff that we're doing now, you're talking probably 100,000 changes. So, but anyway, it's hard for me to really put it into full words without getting too bogged down in the details. But that's why I think it's wider, right? Technology is in more places, and it's not. It looks simple, but it isn't simple, I guess is the best way to put that. Right. That these, I mean, I'm serious, because the reason why I know there's a blob in the card, because when I worked at AAA, my boss got one that opened up and it played something. And granted, it's not stereo sound, but it's better than what some of the games that I had as a kid that only made 3 or 4 beeps, right? And it's digital. It sounds like it's 16-bit audio, so it's decent sounding. Go back and listen to some of the games that when the 16-bit sound cards came out, that was such a huge deal. And it sounds kind of crappy now, but at the time it was amazing. And here it's coming out of a card, and it's like, let's see what this is. And we took it apart, and the battery, which was a tiny little watch battery, I don't know what size it was, about like that, was twice the size of the blob of silicone for the integrated circuits. And it was that and the wires, and that was it. And we're like, you got to be kidding me. It's like, I don't know, maybe a fifth of a dime in size, maybe smaller than that. But that represents a computer. That was an entire computer 15, 20 years before. And so, but that's what I'm saying, is it's not as, I think in many ways we've kind of grown up with it. We don't see it as much. But sometimes just go around a store or something and just kind of try and figure out, how much. Things like security cameras and stuff are kind of obvious, but some of this other stuff, the signal processors and all these digital signal processors that we do and all this stuff that used to be tubes, that used to be having to ground, or having to do crazy resistors and different circuitry so that something would work. It's now just an integrated circuit that's programmed to do what those things used to be. Now here's the kick of it, is that was probably programmed by some 23-year-old who's up at 2 a.m. in the morning trying to figure out how the heck something works.
Well, see, like my whole thing is, I feel like the people that are making the stuff, they're not looking for more. They're looking to for you to buy it, and that's the only purpose for it, to make money off of it. So they do just enough to make you want the new iPhone or the new this or the new that, the features wise. Because I got the newest iPhone out there, well, the second newest, and my dad's got one like the iPhone 6, and beside the button missing, it does the exact same thing except for camera quality.
Yeah. Well, I got an old ass iPhone. I don't know what this one is, and I don't want to upgrade. There's some truth in that. There is some truth to the planned obsolescence.
And like what you said with the 23-year-old, that's the one that's going to come up with the great idea.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the
gonna
disruptor,
change stuff.
right? What is the disruption? I think a lot of the disruptions happen because this technology is used so broad. You know, you're over here and someone over here completely disrupts an industry. You don't even hear about it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's so common, if you will, that oh, okay, yeah. And if it doesn't come at, it doesn't come into your sphere, you don't know about it. You know, but that's why I think if quantum computing becomes a reality to the state of a, let's say, a medium-sized mainframe from the mid 80s, which would be the size of a minivan, you know, all the components and the 9-track tapes that we used to run and all that.
Yeah.
The 9-track reel-to-reels, you know, so talking something that size, that's going to be a massive disruption that I think is going to be multiple order of magnitudes bigger than the integrated circuit. That it's, you know, because it basically, and I know OG was talking about it's supposed to go in the other dimensions, and I don't know if all that's true or not, but it's when you take the fastest supercomputers that are quite large, and they've done some experiments now with some of the what they think is quantum computing, and that something does in seconds what takes a supercomputer hours to days to do. That is as big that to me is a much bigger disruption than, you know, if you were to take your phone or your desktop, let's say you go to get a $2,000 machine and you have it. I mean, just think of the heck, forget the computer. Just think of an Xbox. What's an Xbox cost? The newer one, $700-800, right? 500.
Yeah.
You know, they do 4K video. They do color depth of, I guess it's probably at least 32-bit. Well, technically 24. I mean, do people have more than 8-bit color? I know Toshiba makes one that has an orange gun or yellow. It's not just red, green, blue. It's something else. But if you were to sit there and calculate it, especially you get 4K, which is pretty decent sized resolution, you figure out how much color each pixel is allowed to have, usually at least 32 bits, if not 48. Then you start looking at the frame rate, probably 60 frames per second or more, depending on the game, you know, what you're playing. When you start doing the math just for the display, your mind goes poof, because that doesn't take into account the audio, the input from the screen, you know, just for it to display that is insane. And the fact that this thing's $500-600 is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, you're looking at a $10,000 computer from a handful of years ago.
Well, I'm just ready
that's
for
in
Ready
your
Player One status.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, that's in your sphere, right? So that's a disruption that you are familiar with. But imagine if you went from what is essentially forget the Atari 800. It's or the 2600. It's too far down the pipeline. But let's say ColecoVision. Okay, right? The 16-bit revolution, right? And you went from that to an Xbox One or PlayStation 4, you know, something that's the newer stuff.
Yeah.
You went directly from that to that. You'd be like, I think that's the level of disruption that quantum computing has on everybody's life. If the Great Reset doesn't screw us all and turn us all into dust anyway.
Yeah.
So the vacuum tubes aren't completely obsolete for those who are really like amplifiers with the pure sound.
I can't believe
See, that's, you know, there's always a trade-off, right? There's more warmth in those sounds, but if you don't ground them right, you'll stop playing and you hear, you know, the 60 hertz hum. Oh, I can't get rid of it. Turn it, you know. But, you know, it's because basically I look at it like this. With that becomes a reality, because it took me a long time to listen to MP3s and stuff like that and Pandora, and I can still many times still hear the difference even with decent headphones, because you go from 128K sampling. Well, you go from 1.1 million to 128K, because that's what a CD actually has, to 128K. The compression, depending on the music, is noticeable, and it's like, you know. But but imagine the pure 1100 bits per channel in 6 channels opposed to 2, all the music ever recorded, and it's, you know, fits in the size of a quarter. You know, that kind of, to me, that's, you know, that's what quantum computing might be
Elon
able to
Musk
do.
hasn't tried to come up with a quantum computer.
Well, he can't get the government to pay for it. See, he can get the government to pay for his rockets and his Teslas. I mean, to me, and granted, I'm a bit cynical, but to me, the best thing Elon Musk has been able to figure out is how to get governments to pay him, but make it look like he's actually a company. I mean, I've traded his company stock. It's been a while, but when it was bouncing like crazy last summer and summer of 5, I traded a few times, but I never. It's like, why would people buy any of this stuff if it wasn't for
Did you buy
government?
any GameStop?
I've traded it a couple times, but I missed that whole. I didn't know any of that stuff was going on until it really hit the fan. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me! If I had have bought 3 shares at $9 and sold them at 600, you know?
Oh yeah,
that would have been awesome. But yeah. Anyway,
it probably won't happen again. The government's done stepped into it.
no, yeah. See, that's the thing. You mess with their casino, and the house bites back. And,
But they did it too soon. They should have got a bigger gathering. It would have crushed it.
Right. Well, I'd say the closest thing you're going to have is Bitcoin because it keeps going up and down, up and down, up and down. You know what I mean? That seems to be one of the biggest ones to get in quick and then get the fuck out, you know, with your money. Triple.
Bitcoin's just so. It's so random. Like you'll see it go up and then they'll straight drop off a cliff. So I just don't. I'll be the one as soon as I buy it, it'll drop off the cliff.
Well, that's why you buy it. You know, you only put $1 in, and then you know you wait till it's high, and you get 1,000 out of $1. You go, I done good.
Yeah, but yeah, and it's well, yeah, especially if Biden. They have been toying with transaction taxes again, and well. Look, I look back at Bill Clinton in '92. You know, he kept talking about he was going to give us middle class tax cut. It was going to happen. And then when he gets in, and of course, I knew it was baloney, but his voter, oh yeah, because Bush didn't give us a tax cut. And then, as soon as he gets in, I'm sorry, but I tried, but Bush. This was George H. It was much worse than we thought. We just can't give the middle class that tax cut. And then they raised taxes on everybody.
Mm-hmm. The usual MMO of every party. They're not people.
Well, the Democrats tend to raise taxes on the middle class more than the Republicans. They do. Republicans have done it. I mean, but it tends to go that way. Or in this case, canceling pipelines and all kinds of other projects that are in the works that we could argue whether they should have been started or not. But it's like, I don't know. I don't know how true it is, but I saw a figure quoted, claimed the other day that Biden's killed over 1 million jobs in his first 3 weeks. And, I don't know how true that number is, right?
Well, but it's probably higher.
Right. It's like, okay, it's one thing if the economy was roaring and there's some pork and fat that needs to be, pork and fat, it's all of Washington, but we have this economy that's just going down in flames, and it's like, let's throw kerosene on it and see if it happens. It's like,
let's make this motherfucker burn down to the ground even quicker. I'm seeing more and more stores closing that make no sense. There's talks that Kohl's are now going to be closing. We're no longer going to have Kohl's, for fuck's sake. I mean, and they've not had a product line in the last year, thanks to COVID. So don't tell me that this COVID nonsense isn't killing the economy, because now the economy is dead. We just haven't caught up to the point where they finally go, all right, now everybody, we fucked up. Sorry, it's the end of the world. Here comes a nuke at you.
Well, there was something that claimed, I thought it was the Washington Post or something that was, I just saw a headline. I don't remember. It was one of those, newspaper-ish articles, but they were saying that 2020 was the worst economy since 1946. So I don't know. Again, I didn't read it to understand what they were, how they were measuring that. But and I'm like, yeah, in 2021 ain't gonna be any better unless, you know. And granted, if all of the stuff that the Davos stuff and Klaus Schwab are talking about, yeah, it's only gonna get worse.
Mm-hmm.
Have y'all played a game called Fable?
No.
Okay, well, this is why the game made me actually think different about certain things, because the first part of the game is your brother's king and you're not, and you have to go around and basically get people on your side saying, I'll do this for you. Kind of like a politician saying, I will bring food to your land and everything, for them to join your army to take over the castle. And you think once you take over the castle, the game's over. No, that's literally the midpoint, because I just finished taking over the castle. All the promises you made, you got to keep to finish the game. And so, like, you can do it the easy way, and the easy way makes you basically have people hate you, but you can finish the game really fast.
Right.
Like, you can just tear up the contract you had with the people, and you can finish the game in probably an hour. But if you do it the correct way, it takes literally like a week to finish the other half of the game. Like, I don't know, it made me rethink on how government's done just by playing that game.
Oh, yeah.
Because you literally can raise the taxes of your people or lower them. I had to raise mine to make my army stronger, to make sure I don't get taken over again.
Right.
So that made everybody in the village mad at me. But, I mean, it's a cool game.
Oh, yeah.
Appalachian, you're being quiet.
I'm just enjoying y'all's conversation. For once, y'all are talking, I'm not. Don't have to.
I do enjoy the fact that you're wearing a Power Ranger shirt
and looking at Power Ranger toys.
Well, it's
Tell me
because seeing Power Rangers behind you, it just seems weird that there wasn't any. So at least you blessed us with the shirt, because that feels somewhat normal. At least we see Power Rangers.
Should be back to normal next. Well, in the new room, settle down to next week.
Hey, Brian, I had a good question for you. Do you think we'll ever get as far as nanobites? I doubt
I actually talked a few years ago. I actually talked to somebody that does research. They're doing cancer research. He runs a lab in New York now. He had moved, but this was before he moved.
Yeah, I heard you laughing.
We actually talked about nanites, and what they were using was bacteria to reinfect cells, to reprogram them so that an abnormal cell became normal.
I don't think we're going to get what we think we're going to get.
Yeah,
because you can't make a cell into a computer. You just physically don't think you can.
What I think, again, this gets back to understanding how the brain works too. What I think what we'll have as nanites aren't going to be metallic machines. Now, no, I understand they've made machines at a subatomic level where you need an electron microscope to see them, and made propellers and different things. But what I think where I think it truly should go and could go is biological nanites, right? That we put together the right bacteria, DNA essentially, to have it's a machine. Because if you look in the mitochondrial and other parts of the cell, you find machines, right? These are machines. They are molecular level machines, but they're programmed to do specific things, and produce DNA strands to move molecules of sugar and other things around and store and all this stuff. I think it'll be at that level. And essentially it's the body, it's something that is very short-lived and has a specific purpose, and it recognizes something and then it does what it's supposed to do, but it doesn't necessarily reproduce. And then they just kind of fall apart and they get passed out of the body. But on the flip side of that also means that if you did have something, it could get crazy. This is, the with the C virus we've got going around. That's one of the things that we have. Is it made or is it man-made or not? But yeah, I think that's where, because that was one of the things I was like, oh, nanites. And then after I talked to this guy, Han was his name, and he was telling me what they were doing with bacteria, where they're creating specific bacteria to do specific things, to bind to certain receptors on cells that only cancer cells have, and can inject things into cells when they bind. And then if they don't, they float around the body. The body does see them as bacteria. It will respond. You will get a white blood cell increase, but it won't kill them all. But and then with those that don't ever bind to something, they just go passing out. So they tend to inject it pretty close to the site. But unlike your radiation therapies and all that other stuff, they only attach to the cells that are damaged, and then the body kind of basically flushes them out like they would any other bacteria. And if it was an actual metallic thing, that has a potential to poison, right? You could leach, but if it was a trained bacteria or something like that, it does its business and then it's done. That's how I feel, that it'll be some kind of biological robot, if you will. So it'll be programmed from a chemical level, more so than from a coding level.
Yeah, that's how I see it. I couldn't see you making a machine the size of an atom, because an atom is made. Like, you can maybe make the parts in the atom, but you can only go so small.
Yeah. Well, and if it was, let's say, bacteria, then it would be a molecular level.
Yeah.
Actually, a little bit bigger than that. But because that way too, it has its own power. Cells have their own power supply. You have other things in there that take it along, but it's just it's created to do a specific purpose, and the coding is based off of its biology, literally, and it does its job, and then it is done.
Ooh, he's low.
Yeah.
So
I was curious on your theory on that.
Southern nanobots will rise again. Nothing going on with that plan. Yeah, but who knows? So, okay, so he's from Texas. So then so I live in Cincinnati, and they have beans in their chili, but in Texas they don't.
Really? I didn't know that.
It's a meat sauce. I've had most people from Texas I know say no, or if there are beans, they're pinto beans, not kidney beans. So, but anyway.
I always wanted to go to Texas to see what it's like.
It's nice.
I was in Wichita Falls in August, and it was hotter than crap. And that's North Texas. And it was flat. I mean, it was pretty flat in Oklahoma. I went across the Red River, and it was like, it was unbelievable. It was like there wasn't a hill anywhere.
We're expecting snow here.
Oh, we've had snow today. It was pretty cold. It's supposed to get colder. I think snow on Monday. Yeah, we had yesterday. We had just about every winter weather except freezing rain. We had sleet, then we had snow, then we had a wintry mix, then we had snow, and then it turned to rain. But it was like 35 degrees. I don't know how it didn't freeze, but I guess it kind of did. Then it got up to 40, and that melted, and then it got cold again, and then it got windy. So it's like, freezing rain is the winter weather I hate the most, and wintry mix is the next one. But well, that as far as driving now, if I have to ski or something, 35 degrees and rain sucks. But because there's no snow, it just seeps into everything.
Well, this was a special year because this is the first time my kids actually got to go sleigh riding.
No.
Really?
Yep, because every other snow, it was the consistency of the snow wasn't good enough to sleigh ride in, or wasn't
Sledding.
enough of an amount.
Go
Right.
sledding, not sleighing.
Yeah.
Well,
sledding.
he said it right. They're slaying and slaying. They're sled slaying.
Like
Sled
this
is
year, it
going
was actually really
downhill
good.
with gravity. Sleigh is to be pulled. Do what?
Well, I did have to pull for the first part to make the track.
Yeah. Seth is breathing deeper.
He's tired.
Yes.
So is Prime just gone forever, or is he just going to show up randomly now?
I don't know. I tried texting him the other day, and he said he's just trying to unplug for a while.
He can't steal the neighbor's internet anymore. The neighbor moved.
Something like that. I mean, he was supposed to be a mainstay on this channel, but
Well, shit happens sometimes. Sometimes people do need to unplug and have a break. It's all good.
yeah, but you
I
should
know.
tell people.
I know.
So OG said, yeah, pinto beans.
Mhm.
They have with the no beans is superior. Well, see, in here when you have your base chili, and if you do a 3-way, it's chili with beans and cheese, and then you can do a 4-way, and they have shredded onions that they put, or chopped onions that put on it. It's also served on spaghetti noodles. So
Spaghetti noodles? That's gross.
Yeah, man. Go to Steak and Shake. They've got chili 5-way and 4-way there. Yeah.
I forget what. Well, maybe a 3-way is without beans, and then 4-way you can do 4-way with beans or onions, and then the 5-way is with beans and onions.
Mm-hmm.
See, I like the beans cooked in with the chili. I don't like them just put on afterwards like that.
Right, you want it slow cooked the way it should be. The beans.
And then with Skyline, there's a whole subculture of how to order different ways. They have dry. I only know a handful of things, but basically you can get it, and it'll mean put the cheese first, and the spaghetti, and then the I mean, it's just all kinds of weird stuff.
When we were growing up, my mom made a chili, and it literally had 6 different meats in it. It had hamburger, steak, bacon, I think chicken in it, and sausage. It was called a meat chili.
Hey, man, the way I did chili with the kids at one point is, first off, there's not just one bean. It's like every kind of bean you can think of. Pinto beans, black beans, hot beans, mild beans, chili beans, kidney beans. Then you go crazy, right? So you got your hamburger that you do up. But then you got your taco meat from a couple nights ago. You throw that shit in there, too. You throw in some barbecue pulled pork. You throw in a little bit of chicken. Pretty much any kind of meat you have, like you were saying. You throw all that shit in there, and you slow cook that motherfucker for like 24 hours, like in a crock pot even, and you just let it simmer and cook. That was one of the best chilies I ever made. It was all like, we had barbecue pulled pork, sweet and sour pulled pork, bacon, breakfast sausage, hamburger, taco, spaghetti sauce hamburger, where you got just a little bit of spaghetti sauce but a lot of hamburger, kind of like manwich style, if you will. And you throw all that in there along with all them fucking beans, and then top it off with some tomato juice. And we do here, the wife will do tomatoes and onions.
So what you're telling me is you made the Noah's Ark chili.
Mm-hmm. It was in there.
See, we did a chili cook-off one time at church, and my dad made what he called roadkill chili. Now, it had your sausage, hamburger, and I don't remember. I think it had a little bit of deer in it.
Right. All right.
So what my dad did was he told him that the hamburger was possum and the sausage was raccoon.
Nice.
and the deer. And so that's why he called it roadkill chili. He says it's got deer, possum, and raccoon in it. Just as a joke.
Right. Well, I mean, I've put brats in mine. You know, like I'd have jalapeno brats. So, you know, right there you got your extra heat for your in the chili, you know, along with everything else. You know, you just crumble fry it and whatnot. And then if I had it where it was already like smoked or already cooked, you know, then I'm sitting there dicing this shit up real nice and small and fine and then throwing it in there. But yeah, I mean, you know, you guys get pictures of stuff half the time when I send stuff, you know, it's like, oh, I'm on a cooking spree.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
But he didn't win first place in that chili cook-off.
It could have been the name.
I did.
Well, you know, after they found out they thought they were eating roadkill, I'd be like, yeah, you suck.
No, I made this chili, man, and it was spicy. It was rough. And I was like, there ain't no way that I'm gonna get it. And buddy, when they called my name, like I was already walking out. Like I was like, man, ain't no sense in sticking around.
So question. And this might be fun. What if we make a game? We call it best recipe. You can either have one of your own or find one on the internet, but it has to have a picture of what it is. And we all see who can come up with the best one.
I mean, it'd be kind of hard, wouldn't it?
Because I know you like cooking, so you could probably find something good.
Well, I mean, we all cook, but instead of finding shit, I think it'd be more fun if, you know, don't take this the wrong way, but it'd be more fun to do more of like what we cook that's more of a family or our own made up stuff versus like, you know, okay, here's a simple one. Gravy. Like there's some people that don't know how to make an actual gravy, and I can make sausage gravy. I can make, you know, sawmill gravy, which is pepper gravy, hamburger gravy, turkey gravy, chicken gravy, and it's all the same ingredients. It's butter, flour, salt, pepper, and a little bit of this and that to tweak it. But that's just a recipe that been taught down that I've learned, you know, but same with you guys. Yeah, exactly. You did your steak.
I made soup on the fire the other night.
Yep. Because I told you it needed bacon and you laughed.
But my problem is I can only make a mean bowl of cereal. So see, mine would have to come off the internet.
But no, that's not true.
Here's the thing, man.
That
you say you make a mean bowl of cereal, but like, have you tried? Have you put effort behind making something?
And it's not necessarily got to be something you make. It could be something that the wife makes, or
no. But I mean, no. He's gonna make something. We're gonna make you make something.
But you got to think, my mind.
Don't be making excuses.
Like I'm more artsy and then handcrafting with materials, not tasting.
Not tasting.
You got to remember, my dinners are pizza hamburgers.
Because you
like
choose.
Your basic.
Because you choose to do that.
Well, that's what tastes good to me.
No, but nonetheless, I mean, it's still that's fine. But you choose to be like that. You choose to do that.
Yeah.
You don't choose to do. You know, you exactly. Oil or Greg's not that hard, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You choose that.
I was just waiting on him to say I make a mean bacon sandwich. That's what I literally was waiting on him to say, and he let me down. He didn't say it. All that bacon. You say a bowl of cereal. Oh, that.
Well, I can make a BLT. I can cook bacon to perfection. How about that?
There you go. And it better be flat, or Seth's gonna have a fucking fit.
Well, the only thing I do different is I put a little bit of I can make sweet bacon where you put a little bit of brown sugar and regular sugar.
Mm-hmm. And a splash of hot sauce.
No hot sauce. I love my hot sauce. I can drink it by the gallon. But I can't. For some reason, I've never liked the taste of hot bacon.
No. Throw some maple syrup on there. We got ourselves a deal.
How do you use maple syrup? I use maple syrup, bacon. I mean, brown sugar and sugar, and they call them candy bacon.
Mm-hmm. I use honey, real maple syrup, honey, and then brown sugar. and then a splash, just a tiny splash of your favorite hot sauce. Well, that way you get
Get a little kick with it.
your sweet heat, if you will. Giggity.
I wanted to try it with cinnamon, but I don't know.
Here's that leftover soup.
Nice.
It's a brick
Mm-hmm.
in a bag.
That's how they store soup at Panera. That's how it comes in. Panera Bread. Their soup comes in bags like that.
Oh, yeah.
I happened to manage one a while back, and yeah, everything came in frozen like that. And then, yep, but hell yeah. That's how I do the stuff, though. I do the same thing. I'll take soups and then put them in the vacuum sealer and suck the air out, which is kind of a bitch with soup, but freeze it up and do it flat, and then you can store it in the freezer, man.
Here's some of that bacon you gave me, Tommy.
Is it?
Yeah, I individually sealed it.
Hell yeah.
Oh, wow.
I did it. I broke it all up into pounds and sealed it all.
I still got like 8 bags of that.
Wow. So what you're saying is when I make it up there, I need to bring a cooler because you're going to send me home with bacon?
8
Yeah.
bags? How
Yes.
do you have 8 bags?
Because it comes 2 bags to a box.
How many boxes did you take?
I had 5. I gave you one, and then 3 people I was supposed to give it to backed out. Well, they just said they didn't have room for it.
You didn't think to hit me back up, bro?
You said you didn't have enough room in your freezer.
No, in my house.
Oh.
I put it all out in the garage. I individually sealed it and put it all out in the garage.
Well, I didn't know that. When you said you didn't have enough room in your freezer, I thot you meant like both freezers.
Oh, no. I was talking about the inside, man. If you you got more, I'll take it. Bruh.
Can't go wrong with bacon.
No.
We've had so much bacon. My boy said, I don't want bacon no more. We
Dude,
have bacon for breakfast almost every day.
I fixed some bomb deer steak tonight for dinner. Let me see if I can find that picture.
Hell yeah. Hell, I just found out that Ugly Dog makes a bacon vodka, and I'm very, very curious to try. They also have a Michigan cherry whiskey, and it's like, I just might have to buy these things. Yeah.
I like Seth invited me to a cookout thing. He's like, just bring something and I'll put it on the grill. I was like, okay. And I'm sitting there, I was like, I'm craving steak. So I brought 2 steaks over there. And I've never cooked steak. Like, I've cooked it, but not really seasoned it or made it really good. He made some kick-ass steak. Like, I've been craving it ever since he made it. Like, I'm waiting for him to ask me to come back over to put something on the grill. Because I'm grabbing like 5 of them and bringing something home with me.
Like that, I'd be telling him, hey, stop doing the grill next. I got some steaks for you. I want you to do me more steaks.
Hey, man, whatever.
Right? Just show up with a 6-pack. It's all good.
Like, I've even had steak that good at a restaurant. I don't know what he put on it. I know you seasoned it yourself.
Yeah, with his picker.
I honestly, I just grab stuff that I think is going to taste good. Like, a lot of times for steak, it's like lemon juice, a little bit of mustard for that vinegar, and some hot sauce, and maybe some Worcestershire. And then let it sit in the bag of that liquid for a little while. And then when I throw it on, I put some Montreal steak seasoning on top.
Right. I'll do what I do, because I usually cook filet mignons, as you know. So I'll marinate them for 24 to 48 hours just straight in Worcestershire sauce. And then I'll grill them, and I don't even need anything. A little sprinkle of salt, little pepper, boom, 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 eat it straight up. But yeah, like you're saying, then you can always do, a lot of times with it being a cook too, if you're cooking it, it depends on your mood. Like what are you in the mood for? It's like with bacon I was just talking about, I like a little bit of sweet heat with the bacon, the candy bacon, if you will. Tommy, where you're like, no, see, I'm the opposite. But when it comes to steaks, especially, because do you want a little bit of garlic? Do you want a little bit of heat? Do you want a little bit of sweet? It's literally what is your taste buds, and then versus say the chef. because I'm going to cook different than you're going to cook, obviously, Tommy, because you fucking make a mean bowl of cereal, and that's it. But like the way I cook and stuff, there's not going to be, there's going to be general ways that everybody's going to cook eggs the same way and all that kind of shit. But when it comes to grilling and seasoning, oh yeah, everybody's different, and that's just part of life.
And the key to the steak, if you're doing it on the grill, is you have to get that grill as hot as possible.
Okay, now how do y'all like y'all steaks? Well done, medium, or rare?
Rare, but I mean, I'm all right with like medium rare.
I'm fine with medium. I can't have it well done because it feels like I'm eating leather. But medium, I'm good with. I just don't want to like cut it open and see all that blood pouring out.
Yeah, I'm a little bit.
That's not.
I don't need medium well. I'll do just medium. So it's still a little bit, not necessarily that it's bloody, but it's still a little pink in the middle.
But that's not always blood.
No, but I know this, but motherfuckers freak out like it is. Just like you'll have a steak that's cooked all the way through and you got to let it sit, but motherfuckers will cut into it right away. And then, the juices come around and they go, oh, it's still bloody. It's like, no, that's the seasoning, dumbass. Let that
your steak will produce a juice.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's not necessarily blood.
Yep.
Yeah, I get that. I'm talking like when they just toss it on a grill for 10 seconds, just enough to get the edges brown, and the rest of it's solid pink. Solid red.
See, your best thing to do, and this is why it's so important to have a hot grill, very hot. Get it as hot as you can possibly do it, and then you throw the steak on for 2 minutes, 120 seconds. Then you flip it, 120 seconds. Then you flip it 1 minute, flip it 1 minute, and then it's done. So, like, cooking steak doesn't take long.
Hell no. Although I like to take mine and sear it in bacon grease. I cook mine a lot lower and slower. So
but if you do like a pan, that's different.
Yeah.
See, you're talking about like using the broiler in your oven and.
Oh no. I'm just talking about you just sear it in bacon grease and then put it on the grill.
Mm-hmm. Now, see, I've used a big cast iron skillet. You get that super hot, lay it in there on it with once it sears, you flip it and then throw it in the broiler.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, how do you like your steak?
Well, I tend to like a medium, but they don't tend to cook a medium properly anymore. So normally when I ask medium well, it ends up more medium. Any rarer than that, it's too chewy. I choked on it as a kid, and so it's really tough for me to eat anything rarer than that. So my dad would always cook things fairly close to well, no matter what years for it. And a lot of the times it depends on the steak. Sometimes they're just too thick, to be cooked. But yeah, medium well, depending on stuff. To me, it's just it gets to be too chewy. And if the steak is good and people know what they're doing, you can get a steak well done that's still juicy too, if it's the right kind of meat and it's cooked properly.
Mm-hmm.
So Kermit the Frog, and did you hear about the magazine article saying the blank was stolen from Trump? Yeah, of course. Well, that and also Mike Lindell's documentary came out today, and I listened to that, and that was really good.
Yeah. Was that the one? I saw something, I don't know if it was Time, that said how the election was saved, but it was one I was reading, and it was basically confirming, because basically saved from Trump, if you will. It's like, and I was saying, well, even on this show, I said they're not going to let him win.
No. I had a gut feeling something was going to happen.
There was too much, and you look at what's going on in Europe and other places. There's the globalists have put all their chips on the table, They are
all
all
their
in.
resources.
They're all in, and if it right, so they were not going to allow something like that to happen. Now I hope that all those things are correct, and then people see what really the heck is going on, and it's a bit of a revolt.
Mike Lindell's got he's got IP addresses.
Oh yeah,
I mean they've got.
There was one that I thought it was in Georgia. I forget where it was with there was hearings somewhere, because I was only half paying attention, because I was like, it don't matter. I mean, you could have people saying, "Oh heck yeah, we're changing votes right now," and it wouldn't matter. But there was that tech guy who hacked the machine live in one of the hearings on it. Said, "Here's how easy it is to hack one of these machines." It showed live that he could mess with it. And then you've got the runoff there's a district in it's for a state representative in New York State that they still haven't declared a winner. And the Democrat who's losing by like 100 and some odd votes is saying it's because the machines have been rigged. So, yeah, we're the laughing stock of the world essentially, but it's all on purpose. Just remember that it's all on purpose. It's not accidental. So, yeah, and my wife had not heard Klaus Schwab until last night, and I said, "Go find a video of him talking." And he's a Bond villain. It's unbelievable.
This is the video that he put out.
Yeah, the one that was taken down off of YouTube in like 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, it's on Rumble.
But T, I just don't understand. Is like YouTube and Facebook and all them, are they listening to keywords?
Probably. This is the attack lines of how the cyber attacks, of how they came in and changed the stuff.
Is this why the news kept trying to emphasize that he'll probably get Florida and the turnout was just overrun? Like, did you notice that watching the news? It's like, oh, he's getting Florida. He's going to get Florida.
I mean, look, like this is everything is trying to come down. There's many countries involved in trying to take this over. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. I still can't believe Newsmax did what they did. They got too big and they got paid off.
Well, I have a theory. I'm not wondering if all that was just to let people know that Mike's got a video coming out on Friday.
Kind of like raise the eyebrow, show a little attention to something.
Because you don't just bring the man on there and ask him why he got kicked off of Twitter and stuff like that and not expect to hear the answer.
Yeah.
So, I'm not wondering if they were in the process of it and was like, hey, look, man, we're going to show it. This is what happened and we're going to show it on Friday. That's what he said. So maybe it was just a stunt to let people know that, hey, we're coming out Friday with some big news. Now, if you have, how long do you stream for at the men's room? Whatever. We go until we're tired, which is probably soon. But whatever. I'll be up tomorrow at 6:30 playing Coffee and Gaming, which is just a game stream where we goof off and talk about any and everything that we want to. So 6:30 in the morning we'll be up. Yeah.
And it's Eastern Standard Time, Phantom, so you're good.
Yeah. Yeah, because yeah, dude, We're also on Rumble too. By the way, we have a look at that doggy.
It's Moji. It's my pocket pal, my pocket wiener. Giggity. He wants to come say hello. He's so little. He says, "Hi guys, I'm tiny."
But you can't look at this stuff and not think like, man, like it's insane.
Mm-hmm.
I think of the Reading Rainbow.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of cyber attack.
Yeah.
But I heard something the other day. Everybody's clowning on, or they clowned on Space Force. But what does Space Force do?
That's a good question.
But I mean, I know the answer, and I know I'm trying to direct this conversation. So,
Is it cyber attacks?
bingo. They're monitoring the airwaves.
All the airwaves.
Yeah. How do you think they got this information?
That is a good question. Like for something like this, you think you'd have to have a government clearance to get it?
Yeah. I'm betting the Space Force is, why. I bet you that's why they made the Space Force. Because they knew. I mean, you can go back to Steven Crowder and you can listen to that whole live stream. You can listen to our live stream when the other channel live stream.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've always talked very little about politics on here in our opinions. So
yeah, but you can go back to then. Donald Trump said we don't want them to find any extra ballots at 4:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, hell, for the last year, we've already been every 2 weeks. Let's wait and see what happens, because every 2 weeks, it's hey, this is going to be over in 2 weeks. This will be over in 2 weeks.
You may want to take off or change the YouTube channels that you put in the description. They are dead links. I hope they're not.
Oh yeah, not found. Link, not found.
The LinkTree works.
Yeah. Well, YouTube. They're notorious for changing shit.
Oh, that's some crap, dude.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, YouTube.
Kermit asked what we thought about the GameStop stuff. Now, Brian, you know more about that.
Yeah, I don't even know what really went on. I didn't pay any attention to it. I don't even think our GameStop here is even open. It's been closed since the pandemic.
Yeah.
I think it's how you have those links in there, because link to my channel is not working, but it's got some extra crap at the end.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. Because you take off, there's like a %E and a bunch of stuff. You take all that off and my channel comes up. So I don't know if you. So what was the question?
The GameStop.
I think they pushed too hard, because what they did is they woke up the, they went crying to Mama over there in Congress, and now GameStop is down to like $65 or something like that.
Yeah.
So and then you had the AMC. I mean, I liked what they did, but I think they did it too quickly and too far, and they got too much attention, and it's a rigged game, and when you go against the House, Pelosi buys options in what was it? I forget. Was it Tesla? And then you know Biden announces they're going to have all these electric cars.
Mhm.
You know, electric cars are
Well, I don't think
I've been
they
saying
did-
for 25 years electric car is a joke, and
Yep.
it's still the battery operated car is dumb, and
You
it's
know-
far more polluting than a gas car. The hydrogen fuel cells, what I've been saying since the mid 90s, is what should take over, and there's a lot of resistance to that, but because there's not as much government money, government funding in getting that running, but. Yeah, I like what they did because it's time that these hedge funds get smacked around, and it's time we start pushing back a little bit. And of course, we see what Congress is doing and what the brokerage firms did, and they stopped. I mean, you know, I have a TD Ameritrade account, and there were several times I couldn't trade GameStop if I wanted to. You know, I missed it. I really would have liked to have been part of that sweep up. I would have sold it probably way too soon, but no, I think that the more the retail investor bands together, we can affect that. And it's
Well,
time
see,
we
my
take the
problem
market
is
back.
I feel like they didn't think it was going to make a big splash, but I wish they could have somehow contacted more people. If you would have got a bunch more people, and to do it to not just GameStop, but another one too, both of them at the same time, you would have full mayhem.
Yeah. Well, they did
Kind of got
GameStop.
full mayhem now because look at the world is now noticing that, hey, look, we can band together and really mess up some people's days.
Mhm.
So I mean, even though that it was one stock, and even though that it wasn't that massive, they've still showed the world that it can be shook and be
That
shaken.
massive. There was several $1 billion, like $30 billion worth of shorts that they got rid of. Here's the thing. I mean, the full scope of it. It is illegal to short on margin, and they were shorting on margin. GameStop was 128% shorted. That means there were 128 sales. You can't sell more than 100% of the stock, and they were 128% short on GameStop when they started doing this monkey business. It went up as high as 150, depending on whose report you want to look at. That is supposed to be illegal, and somebody should be in jail right now. But because they are well connected with members in Congress, mostly of one party, but not exclusive, they can skirt the rules. The SEC is not going after these hedge funds. They're going after the Reddit and the Wall Street. Was it Wall? I forget what the name of the thread. I actually started following one of them on Twitter, but that's why I said they went too far. When they got about 200, they should have all sold. They should have just sold instantly and let it drop like a rock. And they did AMC, they did Bed Bath and Beyond, they did BT, they did American Airlines. They did. There was another one because I actually was in this one. I actually made a little bit of money in it. But there's a website called a high interest short. I think it's highinterestshorts.com. Yeah, highshortinterest.com. Although it's updates slowly. They did AMC, they did SPC, which is Virgin Atlantic. That's space, because these things don't make a whole lot of money, even though what people think they do. If you went right down that list, but they stuck on GameStop way too long and got too much attention called themselves. And that, I think, is the big mistake. But I agree. It shows what we could do if we start banding together and we start, because I don't mind you saying, hey, I think this company is going to go down, right? Because they have a product no one wants or that's mismanaged or whatever. And say, okay, the stock is $10. It's going to go to $5. So I'm going to sell 1,000 shares for $10. And then in 2 weeks, I'll buy 1,000 shares back for $5. I have no problem with that. But when you have the manipulation they were doing, the force, because they were shorting with each other. This is how they got it over 100%. That is supposed to be illegal. And yet no one's under investigation. No one's going to get arrested. And that's the complete BS line, because they are all protected by members of Congress. And I think that part was great, but they just went too far, too fast, got too much attention. And now, they stopped. AMC and GameStop are the two that made the most news, but there's about half a dozen other stocks that they were going on. And Reddit shut down their page. I mean, there's a lot of social media. Twitter was banning people right and left. Facebook shut down stuff. And that's the problem. It's like you got to stay right below that threshold so that you don't call so much attention to yourself.
Jesus Christ, vampire.
Yeah, Kermit. Yeah, I see that you said something about being on Gab. Yeah, hit me up on email for that Gab. I don't want to put it out on here.
Yeah, I'm on Gab as well somewhere. I haven't been on there in a long time.
Are you under your name?
Yeah, I think it's under Brain Muffin, or it's either my name or Brain Muffin. Mine's if Parlor ever comes back, I'm on there too. I mean, I signed up for Gab when it was Gab.ai. So
I'm following you already.
I'm on Rumble, but yeah, I have to go find it on Gab because I really want to follow these guys because I would love to make some of this money. But that to me again, I agree with what Seth said. This kind of brings some attention to and say, yeah, this is I've said it this also several times. It's the movie Ants, right? The reason why the grasshoppers go after the people the ants that stand up against them and the bugs that stand up against them. It's not ants, it's Bugs Life, right?
Bugs Life, yeah.
The reason why they do that is, Hopper says they outnumber us 100 to 1, and if they ever figure it out, it's over. Mm-hmm. And they finally do figure it out. Like a few of us might not make it, but if we band together, we are far more powerful than they are.
4, 5, 6.
Actually, I was trading. I actually tried to trade GameStop today, but they halted it twice. It went up, they halted it, and went up a little bit more, and then it started dropping. And they halted it, and then it kind of just went sideways the rest of the day.
Kermit, I just added you. Actually, you say Parlor might not be coming back, but Dan Bongino said it should be back by Monday.
Who knows?
Parlor, so I think he would know.
Yeah, who knows? They'll go in after an ISP or something. They'll ban their internet connection.
Yeah, but yeah, Kermit, I just followed you. It'll be a little bit of a different name. Don't put that name on here. It's what I was going to tell you over email. Doing it a little different.
Actually, because we'll take you with me.
But
Life with Malmutes.
Do what?
Kermit's post from 6 days ago. Life with Malmutes.
Oh.
On Gab.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't follow too many people. I got Dave Cullen. I only have 2 followers on Gab. Oh, that's funny. I haven't used it in a long time. Do what?
Follow me back. I'm one of them.
Yep, gotcha.
So confused. What are we fucking doing?
I don't have Gab.
You should get it. It's really cool.
I want to know how to post programmatically to Gab. That's the thing I gotta.
I don't care what we do. I'm just tired.
Yeah, she doesn't care what we do.
Right.
Yeah.
My mom texted me a minute ago and was like, "Who's screaming in the background?"
Well, we can't do the beer of the week, Tommy. You waited too long.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we haven't done really anything.
It's Bad Tree. It's a local. Although it got much better when it warmed up.
Do a pre-show to get things situated.
Yeah, I was talking to my wife. Interestingly enough, there was something I noticed about the Taurus today. I was messing around with it, and I was showing her, and then I looked at the clock, and I'm like, oh, crap, I'm supposed to be on 2 minutes ago. But it's part of that double action trigger that makes the difference.
Right.
So.
Well, he can play my video. I'm ready as always, but that's just because I'm a professional.
Well, hey, somebody has to be.
Right? Exactly.
Oh, go ahead. It's almost 11:30 too. I was out of gas an hour ago. I'm surprised the dogs aren't pestering me to go out.
I will say this was actually a really good show. We covered a lot of topics. We went for food, computers, real nerdy stuff, and
Yeah,
guns.
I got lost in Nerdville there. I'm sorry.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
So yeah, it's been an interesting range of stuff, and we didn't talk about pop culture once. What is this supposed to be? The pop culture corner? I just call it the men's room. Friday night on something. Friday night follies. Because Friday night tights is already taken by those.
Well, I don't see any of us wearing tights, so fuck it.
Yeah.
Well, I know we have toy talk every.
Well, we need to
last
have Seth's
Friday.
lifting buddies back on.
Well, I thought we had said that we were going to do that the first week of the month. That would be this week.
Oh, yeah, but we already have one recent. So we'll start it next month.
And forget, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I just say that we need to make it more of a conversation. That's all.
Hey, we've been having a blast though, with lots of content.
No, I meant the lifting, because the one guy hardly talked at all. But it's all right.
But it was
I talk
good
too
having Seth's friend on there because he gives a different point of view than I would see because he's vegan now.
All right, man. Kermit, I just commented on the dog video. I just said, "Hey, man." Well,
So
Yeah, it's not the men's room. It's a certain
yeah.
it's a prophylactic.
Shut up, late.
No.
Figure it out.
It's the Matrix, man. It's the Matrix scene. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just brain muffin. That's all I am.
God, my freaking computer sucks.
Although, people recently have been calling me, can't get my nickname right. I'm like, look, I get tired of being called Byron half my life. Now you can't get brain muffin right.
Mm-mm. Nope. You're a brand muffin, not a brain muffin.
I got brand, and you could call brand muffin. I get called. What was the muffin head? Someone called me. It was,
Seth, why ain't you using the new logo?
Well, the coloring of it doesn't show up very well.
Really?
The
I have to work
chicken,
on it.
the chicken doesn't show up.
Oh, gotcha.
Now it is, if you can, it is set on like the Facebook and YouTube and stuff like. Well, not the YouTube, but it is set the Facebook and everything. But you see, you can't really see the chicken.
So lighten up the chicken a little bit.
And make the chicken the same color as the border.
But the funny thing is, I was looking at the logo earlier. I was like, if there was a beer with that logo, I would buy that beer.
Oh yeah,
because it just looks good.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of beer, click my share. You're going to enjoy this.
Now wait a minute. Are we gonna play the video and record this and stuff, or what?
Yeah, we can. So I can add one more. All right.
Well,
So
whatever
it
you
is time for the meme of the week.
So, speaking of beer, even though we didn't really do the opening and whatnot, we're not drinking Twisted Tea. I've got a bunch of Twisted Tea ones I had saved because I thought that, they were pretty funny. So I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, yeah.
They're part of my religion.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. And I am sad to say that we're getting to one that I did not think I was gonna like, but it did take it because it's got Bernie.
Oh.
No longer asking.
So, and then we've got this one's pretty good because of the fact that it's true right now. you know. Yeah, there we go. There's another good one. Yep. Just pee right in the hole. I liked it. I thought that was appropriate after Bernie. And then we've got the winner right here. Because our winter, it's so cold, we've got snow. Me pee froze.
Pee.
Mm-hmm. My pee froze. That's the forecast. Yes, it is.
That's funny.
I try. I really do. You know, it's like I want to find something that's good. That's, you know, the Twisted Tea ones. I was like, man, I started finding a bunch of them, so I started saving them. I'm like, oh man.
Hey, here's a good one. Adam, are you killing that dog?
He's mad. He wants on the show again.
Oh gosh. All right, so check this out. I seen this on Gab just now. Dude, that's great, but I was hoping to see the cop cars in the back. You know what this video is, don't you?
What?
All right, this video was taken, like this chick was doing this chick was doing like an exercise course, like an online Zoom course where they were doing exercising. And about that time, this is in Myanmar, all of the military police roll up behind her, and that's where they initialized the coup.
Ooh.
Like they just happened to pick it up on the thing. And yeah.
Damn.
So Kermit says he wants to join us sometime. Yeah, man, we can talk about it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, dude, that's hilarious. Let me see if I can find the video. That's so funny. The dude's just drumming in the background. That's freaking great. I'm reposting that one. Okay. 4 minutes ago. What'd you post there, Laperoni? Build life better. Build lifelong habits. Okay. Let's see. Where is... Or dancing workout during the military coup. Yeah, right here. Like you see them all behind her.
Yeah.
There they go. Big
Why is her shadow stopping?
He gets over close, you can see your shadow.
But it stops right at the end.
See?
Yeah. But, I don't know.
She's
stopped because it's stopping when on the red right there, but it's not stopping on the green or blue or whatever color that is. See there, you've got a shadow that goes into that blue part, but it stops hard at the. But there is a definitely.
If that steps.
Oh, okay.
That's a step right there, because you can see right here is another white corner piece,
Yeah,
and right here's a white corner piece. So like you're going down a few steps.
I guess. I don't know. It just looks weird.
I mean, it looks like steps.
I get what he's saying though. Like
I do too, but I mean, it's steps. So it's not hard to.
I feel like if it was
steps,
fake,
people. It's not.
I feel like
it's
if
not
it
that
was-
the shadow's missing or it's false. It's just those steps. Those darn pesky steps.
I just
Well,
feel like if it was fake, they would put the full shadow in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
'Cause it'd be a lot of
so
hard work to do
distrust
it.
everything I see anymore. It's like,
How racist of you! How dare you question this shadow?
all right, are we about done? Because I've been done.
I think so. Kermit, man, I didn't see where you had followed me back, so get that follow back there.
Private.
Huh?
Look in the private.
I already did.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
All right. Okay.
It's like the that Kevin Hart skit where he's like, all right, okay, all right, okay, all right, okay, okay, all right, okay, all right, okay. Yeah, it's time to go. I'm tired. I've got to download this and get it up on Rumble and all that stuff, and then set up for tomorrow. So
Yeah. Night, guys.
later, Tater. You guys have a good one. Bye. Good
All
night, boys.
Coming.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Yeah, man. Tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. ish, maybe 6:45, maybe 7. Not really sure yet. But yeah, we'll be doing coffee and gaming.
Good night.
Come on down. Bye.